All right, there's the go live. We have two things to discuss. But let's make sure we sound good. All right, there's the go live. We have two things to discuss. All right, I have to answer a message real quick. All right. Hello? What the fuck? That's weird. One second, sorry. Dealing with some technical difficulties while people gather. Okay. Sorry, had some tournament things come up. Hi Jay, you hummus boy, hey fish, Mr. Teufel, how's it going? We have one replay, so if I started casting it now, we would catch up and then have an awkward time to sit. So I'll just do this as an intro stream. There's good news, bad news. Do you want the good news or bad news first? The bad news is rant on my part. It's not actually news. It's just news that relates to me. But you might enjoy the rant, and also there's something I have to get out there to the YouTube community. So good news, bad news. Anybody in the chat care which one you hear first? Wait for the delay. Oh, boy. It's been a minute. When did we stream last? Was it Wednesday night? It feels like longer. It feels like I haven't streamed in forever. Bad news first. All right, I'm sick of YouTube. I'm quitting. So here's the thing. I'm not actually quitting, but I am mad. And this rant is going to be blown up a little bit just to be funny, but there is a real feeling behind it. It's interesting being a small content creator because when I normally make content, I have my little niche of people who know exactly what I am, know exactly what I do, and their comments are kind of appropriate for that aspect. But if any of your content pops off, like mine has been recently, it's a bit of a double-edged sword. Overall, I'll take it. I'll take more views, definitely. More subscribers is great. I'm not actually complaining. But it brings with it this weird class of people that are the fucking casuals. And if you're a fucking casual, great, good for you. But if you're the type of casual that shows up to a party, my YouTube channel, and takes one look around and instantly goes, yeah, fuck this place sucks, and here's why, then you're a douchebag. Okay? For those comments of people I've literally never seen in my videos before who just show up and call me an idiot. Whatever, man. Do you have to post that? Do you have to take time out of your day to go on a video you disagree with and just post, this YouTuber has no idea how Total War Warhammer works. He's a fucking idiot. Because he has early access to content I have never played with, he has formed an opinion off screen, and since I lack object permanence, I can't realize that any games have possibly happened that I wasn't personally watching. So when he makes a point, if the clip he's making the point over has anything slightly questionable about it, his whole argument is wrong. And case in point, the Thunder Barge. Turin said it's OP. Turin, the multiplayer messiah who nobody ever doubts. Turin said it was OP. Tactical Lich released a whole video showing all the different ways it's OP. I've been playing it behind the scenes, it's OP. All the campaign streamers I've been talking to are saying it's OP. I haven't seen anyone post a video saying, hey guys, I think the Thunder Barge is actually weak. So everyone who has gotten the DLC and has played with it is telling you this unit is OP. And then when I'm talking to you saying this unit is OP, as it obliterates an entire army while using 10% of its ammunition, and that army included a large single entity with armor, the steam tank, which was also your general. It included cavalry, it included melee infantry, and it included ranged infantry. It included all those things and it obliterated all of them. Was the point I was trying to make with that clip showing you all the different types of units and how it does damage to those types of units? Maybe, possibly. Was the point of that clip to show you that if you entirely build to kill the Thunder Barge, you can't kill it? No, that's obviously wasn't what that's not what that clip was, because it only had 2 handgunners. And yet the comments of that video were like, well, actually, you only had 2 handgunners, so the Thunder Barge is perfectly balanced. Or, you're actually just stupid, you don't know how the Thunder Barge works because you only brought 2 handgunners. Yeah, in that fucking showcase, I only brought 2 handgunners, but the point of that showcase wasn't to say, this is how you kill the Thunder Barge by taking a bunch of melee Empire Knights to kill it. No. It was clearly just every type of unit in the game, so you can see how the damage profile goes while I talk about a different thing. That's like talking, and here's my point. Here's my point if you're saying that that doesn't make any sense. If a car expert is talking to you about a car, and the car is behind him on a pedestal, slowly rotating, because that looks cool and that's easy to talk about. If the car expert tells you, this car goes from 0 to 60 in an hour and a half, it's a bad car. It has no acceleration. Would your comment be, well, you're not driving it right now, so I think it can go to 0 and 60 in 3.5 seconds? No! That guy did research before standing in front of you and making the video! The car doesn't have to be going 0 to 60 behind him for his points to be true! The points were based off of the previous research! The points were based off of previous experience! The points don't have to be immediately shown to you like you're a toddler for you to understand that something could possibly be true! And it's pissing me off so much with these videos! We're like the Theodore Bruckner thing. Like, wow, his amulet's pretty OP. It deleted Karl Franz. And then one of the comments is like, well, you stood Karl Franz still in the poison mist for 0.5 seconds. Okay. So if I optimize it, it won't do 95% of his HP. It'll do 89% of his HP. That shifts my entire opinion on this concept. Wow, the difference of 6% damage on deleting my fucking lord from the game definitely changes how I feel in general. Like, oh. So that's how I feel. And there's your rant for the day. Now again, was it pumped up a little bit for entertainment value? Yes. But there is real emotion behind that, where it just like annoys me so much. And these comments, I've been doing YouTube for 3 years very soon. So pretty much 3 years. I've been doing YouTube pretty much 3 years. It's always true. If a video pops off, you'll get these people. And it's not all casuals, but in casuals, there's a subset of casuals that are just like professors with doctorates of internet. And they'll show up with a monocle and be like, yes, since you're not specifically showing me what you're talking about, and you've experienced this thing and I have not experienced this thing, I have a well-formed opinion and you are wrong, sir. You are wrong and a buffoon. It's like, ugh. Because now, I'll be fair, there are respectful ways to cast doubt. I'm not talking about respectful ways to cast doubt. If you're in the video and you're like, I hope it's going to be good, or maybe this would work, that's fine. The ones I take issue with is the ones like literally calling me an idiot. And there are those. Not all of them are those, but there are those where like, this YouTuber's just a clickbait piece of shit. That was my favorite one. Then I'm a clickbait piece of shit. Turin. Yeah. No, so anyway, there was my rant. That was fun. The good news, moving on, the good news is you'll get your first Thrones of Decay DLC tournament tomorrow, actually. I don't want to take credit. Someone else came up with the idea, and someone else did most of the organizing. But tomorrow we will be streaming a small little best of 3 land battle tournament on the DLC with some other people who have the DLC. Now, I can't go and reveal who these people are. Some of them are content creators, and you'll recognize them. The other ones will have their names blurred out because they're a part of, like, testing programs or whatever, you know? So it's not supposed to be, like, you know, their names aren't supposed to be out there as, like, people who get early access. But CA has people who help them test the DLCs before they come out, and these people are part of that. So we got some people together. We'll have a tournament stream tomorrow to check out some of the new stuff in a competitive scene, not in me and other content creators shooting the shit and trying to make good content. It'll be like, okay, how are people who are trying to win going to use these units? So tomorrow, that'll be fun, if you're interested. But let's get on with the stream, eh? Spirit of the Gorg, €2. What about Malekith and the Darkblade novels? It's different. It's different. What is happening on Human Boy's stream? Insanity. Again, though, I will say, before you're like, wow, he's taking this too seriously. I thought I would present the information to you in a funny format rather than just like a one sentence. People on the internet annoy me sometimes because that's just not as interesting. What are we doing today? What's going on today, my friends? We have a little tournament. I had to shift some stuff around so you don't get spoilers as soon as we go to this. New player, Land Battles Tournament, Swiss. I host one every week. We switch the time zones around to be friendly to people. Different parts of the world. This one is an EU more friendly time zone. So for me, it is nice and early in the morning. It's, well, okay, it's 10:30 now. But over there, it's a nice midday hour, so people aren't going to bed or going to work, hopefully. It is Swiss at first. Every player who signs up gets 4 rounds, best of 1 guaranteed. After that, if there are any ties towards the top of the points, I will contact those people and have them do some tiebreakers and determine a winner for the day. It's usually pretty low-key, pretty chill. I get to see some fun games with some different army compositions because either these players are not super up-to-date on what the meta is, or they sometimes don't care what the meta is and just kind of play whatever they want to play. So you usually get to see some fun stuff. This will be the last tournament and actually the last stream from me on this patch before Thrones of Decay comes out. Like I said, tomorrow we'll have a stream, but it'll be Thrones of Decay beta stuff. So say goodbye to the Shadows of Change 2.0. And more good news that is... Yes, my embargo is down, so I'm good. I can talk about this stuff. There are so many cool changes on the Thrones of Decay. Okay, for me, a multiplayer nerd, land battle guy, right? For campaign, sure, you can have different pains, whatever. But for land battle multiplayer nerd, Kislev got nerfed. Their Cav got increased costs. Their lore passive, the Buyer Blood Kislev Unbreakable passive, got a decreased duration. So Kislev took 2 nerfs, and then... I confirmed the Mother of Stankia's spell that's currently broken that does Traitorkin instead of Flock of Doom. It does Flock of Doom now, so it's actually a pretty bad spell. But their super broken OP spell is gone. So that won't even be banned in tournaments anymore. And Zarina's Chariot got kind of fixed. It had like 4 things wrong with it, and 3 of them got fixed. The one thing that's still there is if you're chasing her in melee while she's routing, Zarina will swing back at you while the Chariot is routing. It's like she's different. So that's a bit weird. I'm currently talking to my admin, seeing if that's something we're still going to ban or not. But the Chariot itself doesn't go like brrr through your entire army anymore. That's a big improvement, and it feels like a lot of models know how to interact with it more. So that was all just Kislev. And then Lizardmen took big nerfs to their Skink front lines and Feral Cold One spam. Greenskins took big nerfs to their Squig Herds and Orc Boar Biggins, which, while I don't think Greenskins were that problematic, I know they were a big problem in Dom. It's not like they were weak in land battles, so they could take the nerf. It's fine. It's whatever. Bretonia Grail units got another cost increase, which is pretty huge. And then... what else got changed? It's not even the DLC stuff. Fuck, there was another thing. I mean, Empire is DLC, but War Wagons got nerfed, which is my least favorite way to play and cast Empire, which is pretty huge. So now Empire will be trying out a lot of the different stuff that's very fun. Cannons got buffs almost across the board. I played with Vampire Coast a little bit. They still feel like the worst cannons, but they do feel a little bit better. So now cannons are a viable artillery method, which will make Chariot Kite a lot less effective versus factions that have those long range options. There was some other meta stuff that I'm trying to think of. Well, that's all I can remember literally off the top of my head, but I'm very excited. Because then the DLC will bring Empire more to the forefront, which is fine by me. I love Empire. Nurgle goes from D tier to being a B tier faction, so they'll be very playable. I don't think they'll be OP, but they'll be very, very playable. Dwarves probably go from B or A, depending on where you thought they were, to either A++ or S. Even without the Thunder Barge, the Dwarves did get the most competitive stuff out of this DLC. I still think they're manageable. I would rather ban 3 things above Dwarves, but like, Dwarves are very strong, which, I don't know if that's super positive or not, but a lot of the new stuff they got is fun. I'll give them that. Because gyrocopters are almost dead. They're a non-factor, to be honest. And I hated Gyrokite as a player and as a caster. I just didn't think it was interesting. But I always like a good Dwarven line of Faith and Steel. So getting some more Slayer units, getting Thunders with Grudge Rakers and shit like that, it's all pretty fine by me. So there's a lot of cool stuff coming. A lot of cool changes that I think will overall be super positive. So yeah, I have nothing but good things to say about this DLC. Okay, not nothing but good things to say. A very overwhelmingly positive amount of things to say. Hammond, I do like burnt toast on gutter slates. What the hell happened to my chat while I was gone? Will Thunderbarge be allowed tomorrow? I haven't asked the players yet. Like I said, I didn't organize it. I'm just casting it, but like somebody else came up with the idea and got it together. DC will be fun when AI Dwarves showed up with 12 barges. Luigi, yeah, you're going to have a bad time. Vargeists do not kill a Thunderbarge very quickly. But, okay, I have distracted and I have delayed for plenty long. I do have a replay here from today's new player tournament. Let's focus up. Let's do this. Rogue Consultant versus Drago. And it is some Bretonnia, but I will say this is a bit more of a spicy Bretonnia build than I'm used to. It's Lewin, a life caster, some archers, and some knights. How is that different? Okay, dude, the knights are questing knights. Like, this is as different as Bretonia's gonna get. Just take the win. Grand Cathay or Dwarves use the most OP box now. Cathay is still better at boxing, but I would say Dwarves are a stronger faction in the DLC. Because Dwarf... Rush is a strong term, but Dwarven, like, push is stronger than Cathay's push will be. The Slayer units are fine. Okay. For the Bretonians, we have 2 Knights in the Realm and 2 Questing Knights, one of each on each flank. King Lewin Linker in the sky with Biaki, his trusty Griffin mount. Oh, that was the other thing I was going to say. Sorry, real quick. Of the positive changes, Griffin's got HP updates. That means Eltharion buffs, which I always take Eltharion buffs because he's my favorite high elf character and he sucks. But I want him to be good. Okay, I'm done. I'm focusing. Spear men-at-arms across the front line, so a mid-tier Bretonian front line. By most faction standards, it's still low tier, but for Bretonia, it's not like 5 peasant mobs, so they're not surrendering the front line. Peasant Bowman of Fire Arrows going to reduce the healing of the Lizardmen if they brought any, and then they have their own life caster for their own healing with Waking the Wood and Regrowth. You know, aside for Lizards, they did not bring any healing. They brought Tehenuin on a Ripperdactyl with Flock of Doom. 4 other Ripperdactyl riders, one of which is the Clawstone Hunters. Some Chameleon Skinks as a front line, and Skink Cohorts as a back line. I am concerned for the Lizardmen. I'm worried about their DPS. Ripperdactyls are, like, good at killing weapons teams and things like that for the Skaven or Chaos Dwarves or Dwarves or something, but I don't really like them versus Cavalry. So I'm a bit worried. And then Tehenuin's always a meme. A meme I appreciate, but, I mean, if you're asking me who's going to win this, then I'm probably going to go with the side that doesn't have Tehenuin. Ripperdactyls dive in onto the field trebuchets. Lewin is going to try and go peel. He immediately gets surrounded, and where's the follow-up? The Knights are not nearby to help out. They are dealing with Feral Cold Ones and diving the Chameleon Skinks, which will get them good value, good solid value, but I wonder if they should have been kept in the back line. Maybe. Actually, I don't hate this. Like, a field trebuchet costs about as much as a chameleon skink, and you have 3 whole archers. Defending them would be nice if you had the option, but I guess, like, trading chameleon skinks for your range isn't terrible. Most of your carrying is going to be Lewin, healing, and knights. Not like you actually need the field treb once you saw that there weren't source warriors and temple guard. Lewin takes a good trade against the Ripperdactyls, considering how outnumbered he was, and they end up backing off to go join their brethren. Another Flock of Doom hits the Brettonian front line as they try and hold back the Ripperdactyl riders, who are taking some attrition damage. And if Lewin or the Knights can get after them, that is going to be a problem. But the Knights are busy doing other stuff. Where's the 4th Knight? Because there's 1, 2, 3. Where's the other Knight of the Realm? I've realized this as I've been looking around the map. I haven't been able to find it. Did it shatter? They already killed the Knight of the Realm? Oh, no, it's way over there. Okay. Well, some of the Knights of the Realm need to peel back and deal with these Ripperdactyl riders. Like, Questing Knights fighting Chameleon Skinks isn't really going their way. And then these Questing Knights fighting Feral Cold Ones is also not a great idea for them, because their armor piercing is kind of wasted. Now, this whole army from Lizardmen didn't bring much armor, so there's not a lot for the Questing Knights to be doing. But they could be helping Lewin deal with these Ripperdactyls. And as this blob forms, they need some form of blob punishment to come in. They need Knights of the Realm to rally or come back. They're cleaning up more Feral Cold Ones. They're killing more Chameleon Skinks and stuff. But the Ripperdactyls are the Lizardmen's carry potential. So you could at least have 1 Knight staying behind and just ready to countercharge the Ripperdactyls wherever they go. I don't hate chasing down the Chameleon Skinks in general, but there's overcommitting for it, right? Questing Knights still trying to take a fight against some skinks. Chopping those guys down with their great swords, though the Ripperdactyl riders and other Chameleon Skinks firing in is going to get those Questing Knights to rout. And Lewin is still just doing such a great job versus the Clawstone Hunters and the other Ripperdactyls. He has some Spearman support nearby, though it looks like they're going to rout any second now. And Lewin doesn't want to be completely alone against the Clawstone Hunters, or he will get surrounded and beat up. We still have more Knights of the Realm trying to rejoin the fight. This other Knight of the Realm is busy finishing off some Feral Cold Ones, but Lewin is unnecessarily exposed for what's going on right now. Nice Awakening of the Wood's going to hit like 3 or 4 units. Doesn't do that much damage, but it's a little bit of poke, I suppose. Bretonia's front line and back line are in shambles. They're trying to rally where they can and do really anything. But the whole fight, as we said at the start, is the Ripperdactyl Riders versus the Knights. And overall, the Knights are winning it, though I do think Lewin needs a bro. He needs a hero. He's holding out for a hero until the end of the night. As you can see, as I was saying before, he trades pretty well against Ripperdactyls, but like he is in a 4v1 right now, fighting it out. He could use some of his Knights to come to his aid. Looks like they're starting to rejoin the fight now. Sword of Khorne is out with a stand your ground to increase his stats, decrease their stats, and buy him a little bit more time as these Knights are only going to get a real charge in. But they're going for the Chameleon Skinks. Like, bro, somebody help Lewin. Come on. Like, chasing down Chameleon Skinks is fine, but there's too much. Oh, God. All right, Lewin's going to go jump out, hits Henwin in the face. He's slowly healing himself up as the Ripperdactyls have been chasing him around all game. The Feral Cold Ones find their way onto the Damsel of Life. Now, this is fine. Going to save the Damsel of Life is a fine use of your time. That Knight did get isolated, chasing the Chameleon Skink, and now it's surrounded by armor-piercing Feral Cold Ones, armor-piercing Ripperdactyl Riders, and that's a bit of a toughie. Regrowth on to Lewin, not trusting his slow self-regeneration to keep him alive for this one. Feral Cold One is slammed down by the Knights of the Realm, bailing the life caster out. That was worthwhile, for sure. Like, if you lose your life caster, you probably lose your hold on this game, but this Knight of the Realm just pure and simple overcommitted for a Chameleon Skink. So now it's Lewin and 1 Knight of the Realm versus the tattered remains of a Lizardmen army. Knight of the Realm going to get attacked by 4 Ripperdactyls again, and Lewin needs to get in there. No! Stop feeding them one by one into 4 Ripperdactyl riders. You could take a 4v4 with the Ripperdactyls. You don't have to be this chivalrous. Just bring some boys. Bring some boys to the fight. Send dudes. Don't you mean send nudes? No, I'm in a fight and I need more men than one fucking guy. Lewin's trying to snipe out to Henwin. Currently, Foe Seeker's pop doing 125 speed. He is trying to catch up to Henwin. Most flying units have this issue, though. They don't have charge attacks while in the sky. Kinda. So unless the unit that they're trying to chase is stopped, they usually won't stop and swing at it. I hope you're having a nice day, sir. I'm really looking forward to this patch. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. I think Thrones of Decay will be a great time. Great time had by all. Lewin stops and fights at last. He is surrounded. He is taking a whole bunch of damage. Standard ground is popped. A little bit more stats. And Bretonnia still has like half this balance of power. I guess the lizards are extremely tattered. Is mostly where that's coming from. It's not as much saying Bretonnia has a ton left as saying neither do the lizards. But I still think the 4 Ripperdactyl Riders should be able to clean up the rest of this game. Lewin's heal capped. The only knight that's still in the field is this Knight of the Realm. And unless it gets a regrowth, it's kind of a non-factor. Full health Feral Coldon over there. Tehennevin's still doing okay. And the regrowth is actually going to get spent on King Lewin, not on the Knight of the Realm. He's almost heal capped and he has his self-healing, so I really don't think that was necessary. Do you reckon Vanguard Doomseekers will be a thing? Probably not. No, it's just too expensive a unit that's too weak to everything. Like, if Cavalry charge it, the difference in their mass is going to make the charge do so much damage that the Doomseekers will end up poorly trading for it. So Bretonia's down in the balance power. I think the only way they possibly win this game is if this knight didn't die and went back and got a regrowth, but now at only 18 models and it looks like it's going to lose a couple more fighting these Chameleon Skinks, then I don't think Brettonia has a chance. Yeah. Fire Archers trying to poke the Gloss on Hunters as Lewin falls back. Lewin is heal capped, so he's no longer receiving healing. That Knight of the Realm in the distance did die, so this is all Brettonia has. The Lizardmen are going to focus and chase down everything Brettonia has that isn't in this little pile. I think all these Ripperdactyls can beat Lewin. If they can't, that's going to make me sad. It's going to make me a sad panda. Ripperdactyls dive in on the Peasant Bowman, fire arrows. Lewin's going after Chameleon Skinks. I've decided that something happened to Rogue Consultant, and it involved Chameleon Skinks, and now that is his mission in life, is to fuck up Chameleon Skinks wherever he sees them. He's like, listen, listen, you can have your bullshit Total Warhammer 3, you can have your bullshit video games, but I'm killing Chameleon Skinks today. Chameleon Skinks killed my dog and stole my car. I'm thinking I'm back. Bounce Power thinks that this Damsel of Life can kill everything on the Lizardman roster. I disagree. Did Skaven get any buffs in the patch? The only one I noticed was Warp Fire Throwers getting the more consistent obstruction vision that lets them actually shoot. That's pretty fun. Otherwise, no. We'll have to wait for patch notes to see if there was anything. Pretty good game overall. Knights of the Realm did fine. Lewin did great. Some of the archers got their value back after being initially broken. For Drago, I mean, Tehennewin pulled it out. Ripperdactyls got pretty darn good value. Chameleon Skinks, despite being hunted all game long, still got decent value out of themselves. I'm getting a bunch of messages that people are reporting the tournament incorrectly. Where, like... No way to know, unfortunately. Oy. Oy, oy, oy. Tournament people with tournament problems. Okay. That's not correct anymore. There's a different replay. There it is. Empire versus Lizardmen. Okay. I'll allow it. All right. Tehenowin pulled it out, or was that the Rippers? I mean, the army had Tehenowin on it, and they won. That's more of my point. What are we watching now? Empire versus more stinky, stinky lizards. Pistolier, the Sunmaker, some Empire Knights in the background, Silver Bullets, and 2 other handgunners. Marcus Wolfhart with just his net. Jade Wizard with Dwellers Below pre-buff and Flesh to Stone, and then a front line of spears with some halberdiers. Cool. 2 pistoliers, actually. On the other side for the stinky, smelly, gross, slimy Lizardmen. Bunch of little skink skirmishers. Cold One Spear Riders, some Crocsgores, cohort of Twaddle with other Crocsgores. We do have a Feral Bastildon, 2 Ancient Salamanders, and Lord Mazdamundi with his net and his heal, and then his 2 bound spells. I have never been a believer in Salamander Kite. I think there are very few matchups in which it's actually worth your time, but I'm not sure about it versus Empire, who's better at shooting than the Salamanders will ever be. Cold One Spear Riders do get through the front line of the formation, and they're now back here, but what are they going to accomplish with their time, I do wonder, as handgunners aim towards it. Most like they're just diving the Sunmaker. We are going to need Empire Knights to get activated a little more quickly to stop them. But a bit of a whoopsie as the Empire does allow them to get to the Sunmaker briefly. Now, thankfully for them, their handgunners are more than enough to peel. Looks like the Cold Ones will get pushed away soon. 1 Skink's already gone. We have some Feral Cold Ones rampaging into Halberdiers, which will probably be the death of them. The Silver Bullets need new targets, though. They're currently just at Fire at Will, and for some reason they're prioritizing the Skink Skirmishers over the Feral Cold Ones that are literally right in front of them. That's more of a Fire at Will issue, though, than a player mistake. Cold One Spear Riders are peeled away, so that is a 1,000 gold unit getting pushed off. The Sunmaker is still lighting up some Skink Skirmishers as our handgunners try and stop the front line from going to shit. Spearman's Shield's going to get taken by a banishment. Oh! Oh no, we're all dying! Oh god, why is this happening? The Empire front line did get a Flesh to Stone to try and stay in it, though they're overall having a rough time. The Cold One Spear Riders not doing very well, though, is a big boon for the Empire. They took out a lot of the enemy value and backline threat in one go. Ancient Salamanders are still trying to kite, but at this point they're just going to get run down by Empire Knights and Pistoliers and distracted most of the game as the Crocsgores get torn apart. 1 Crocsgore's already on the way out. Dwellers Below is in here trying to catch some skink cohorts, but Yashkov is going to pull forward and just get the skinks out of there while continuing to fight the Empire Knights and stuff. They're into the back line a bit. Like, maybe if these Crocsgores kill the handgunners, they can get back in this, but it's not looking likely, because the handgunners are just a little too spread out, so they're firing in from all directions and still damaging the Port of Bottle by quite a lot. I think the Empire has this in the bag. The Ancient Sallies just didn't have anything to kite, really. They got ignored. Blech. Oh, you canceled the blech. Alright, let's see the blech. Blech! Thump. Good little damage there. They're just outranged is really the problem. It's like the Lizardmen didn't want to delay this game and kite because the Empire was shooting them with the Sunmaker and Pistoliers the whole time. After that, I don't know. I don't know what the Lizards can do to even turn this around. There's so many Empire Knights left and so many handguns. Marcus is full HP, obviously. That's not really a big deal. Like, you can mostly ignore Marcus. He's just a net bot. Sunmaker trying to punish any skinks that even think about coming home. Look at this big guy. Look at this Feral Bastildon out here. Living his best life. His handgunners try and poke him. Ooh, Marcus is actually shooting him too. That's pretty big. Armor-piercing anti-large missiles coming in every so often. Mazdamundi He has pretty insane missile resistance, doesn't he? Yeah, 50% missile resistance goes straight for Marcus. Looks like he's going to duel him. Net of Amnitox down, so Marcus can't even run from this like a little bitch. You have to fight a giant toad in melee, Marcus. What you gonna do? Ah, handgunners are helping you out, but a banishment's gonna take him. Mazdamundi's put this whole game on his back. He's like, listen, I'll duel your lord. I'll kill your ranged. I'll heal myself. I'm doing it all. This living his best life thing, I stole it from Turin. I stole it from, like, Reddit and TikTok in general. I stole it from the internet at large. Turin doesn't own the internet, okay? Don't you say Turin owns the internet. Another ruination of cities as Mazdamundi routes. It's more of a defiant last cast of a dead man as Mazdamundi leaves. Only the Ancient Salamanders keeping the balance of power and out of army losses territory, and I don't think that'll really hold for much longer either. One more volley from the Silver Bullets should send us into army losses territory. Come on. Fire and prove me right. Oh! Oh, he got it down to the exact volley of one unit. Of one unit. Has this man been casting Total War Warhammer 2 and 3 land battles for 3 years? Nah, he couldn't. It's not like he knows exactly when army loss is going to happen, down to the second. I said at the start of that game that I'm like, you know what? Empire's going to get army losses here around 5 minutes, 23 seconds. And that's exactly what it was. I actually have no idea when the game ended. Oh, wow, I was way closer than I thought I was. 5:20, 5:21, 22, 23. Ah, damn it, I missed it by a bit. 25, 26. Now I'm just watching the replay back because I want to see when it happens. 5 minutes, 31 seconds. For a random off-the-cuff guess, that was actually much closer than I thought it would be. All right. Sunbaker and Marcus did fine. It was mostly the Handgunner and Empire Knight show, though. They cleaned up a lot of skinks, and the Handgunners got to shoot croc scores and big dinos all game. So they did great. Yashkov, I think he played it fine. I think his build was a little asynergistic. Like, he had a lot of elements that wanted to rush, but then 2 Ancient Salamanders that just kind of wanted to sit back and kite. So I don't disagree with any of the units he brought, but I do disagree with bringing them in tandem, if that makes sense. Like, I acknowledge Ancient Salamanders are good and I undervalue them, but they need a kite build to work. Turn the city, obviously. It's true. God damn it, it's true. Rogue Consultant has sent me another game. I have gotten games from nobody else. Just yet. So let's see if anyone's out there playing video games. We'll stall briefly. Codename 1C. That's not real. Ooh, Out There sent me a replay. Alright, I'll cast that in a second. We'll do this quick battle. Grand Cathay. Oh, that's a thing. Grand Cathay, huh? Okay. Snitch is fine here. Eshin Sorcerer. We'll make it work. Okay. So, I don't want Toxic Rain, because I'm just going to take Black Whirlwind. Other than that, let's get some fucking Death Runners. Skaven Slaves, because they're never getting through the Grand Cathay front line in a million years. Get some Dogs and some Rat Ogres in case of the Crows. Get a Doom Wheel, because I'm a legend. And then, what else do I do about... What do I do about Jade Lancers, and about Crows, and about good units, and about everything? I don't know. Just lose, I guess. Because this build's not any good. It's a garbage build for a garbage person. The garbage person is me. Fuck it, I'll grab Eshin Triads. That'll show them. I'm kind of excited for this Out There in Titus replay, because I haven't got to see Titus in a while. He's a good lad. Leoner. I'm not taking them for their stock, I'm taking them for their anti-infantry and armor sundering / armor piercing. Death Runners are just good versus Cathay. I don't really use them as a flanking unit. They're just good. Can tear apart a Jade Warrior front line in less than a second. So we'll have some Skaven slaves go first. Oh wow, he instantly readied up. Okay. And then we have Death Runners to fill in some of the holes. Triads to fill in some of the holes. A Clan Rat to just be a Clan Rat. I don't know. I had the money, I grabbed it. Wolf Rats to countercharge Onyx Crowman, Rat Ogres to countercharge Onyx Crowman, or Jade Lances. Deathmaster Snitch to be Deathmaster Snitch. Eshin Sorcerer to be an Eshin Sorcerer. And a Doom Wheel. Cool. You guys are a group, you guys are a group, you're a group, you're a group. Why did I do the Eshin units separately? They're part of my front line. I'm gonna go super invisible. Aha, he has Tzeentch. He can't see me. Take that, motherfucker. No, he can see me, and I acknowledge that. Alright, so here's what we're gonna do. He brought just like peasants. Okay, I'm gonna send a Triad straight at Tzeentch. Why am I trying to dodge? I can't dodge. Oh wow, I dodged. Lit. Okay, all my single entities need to stay back. He invested a ton in single entity sniping, so we're just gonna ignore him. Near. 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 Okay. Oh, he also brought a lion. Alright. Okay, this should be pretty easily punishable. So he's gonna overstack here, and then I'm gonna do Snitch's spin, and then I'm gonna do this. And they tremendously fucked up. Now we lost 2 Onyx Crowman for that. We do have some Eshin Triads trying to chase around Tzeentch, because Tzeentch just fucking hates being surrounded by mass amounts of people. And that's really all we're doing here. If you guys could crunch in and avoid the wind spell that's coming your way, that'd be great. Okay, Skaven Slaves can chase that. Death Runners refocus up on those guys and just deal with it that way. So there's Onyx Crowman in the sky now that don't really know what to do. I don't need my dogs to keep them in line anymore. They're so low that Snitch can handle himself, so I'm going to just move up over here. Comet took out some Skaven Slaves, but it's pretty whatever. And we have 2 units of Ashen Triads grouping up on Tzeentch. That feels like a bit much, but I'm honestly getting a little lazy, and that's my fault, but I can at least acknowledge that it's a mistake, even if I'm not going to do anything to correct it. Okay, now my dogs can countercharge whatever the hell this is, because rear charging them should be able to kill them. Once and for all. Good style. I'm going to see if Tzeentch can get over here, because he could lower their leadership and make it a little easier to deal with them. But Tzeentch's dying to my Ashen Triads. I'm going to back 1 Triad off because douchebag McGee has Comet off cooldown probably, and I don't want to lose 2 Ashen Triads to being just lazy. Like, that's the only reason that that blob is happening is because I'm lazy. All the Cromen are dead. Let's move up. So now I can start getting Tzeentch in range because Tzeentch is so busy that he can't really stop and shoot at Tzeentch too much. Regardless, we'll get a Doom Wheel and more Rat Ogres to go hit that asshole just to keep him extra busy. And then I need to send my dogs over to try and kill those archers that exist. We can try and throw one down there. He doesn't have too many infantry for me to even be using my vortexes on, but whatever. Okay, so Tzeentch is going to start crumbling. But that's why we brought the Death Runners. Like, look, they have 180 kills against Cathay. Sure, some of it's just peasants, but, I mean, you gotta kill them somehow. Cathay is not good because they're single entities. Cathay is good because all their infantry are ridiculously cost-effective. So if you take Death Runners, like, you can kill Jade Warriors and stuff. And if Cathay over-invests into taking out your weapons teams, like Jezzails or Globes, and you just don't have any, that can sometimes stump them. But this build... While this build wasn't a meme, like, everything in it had a purpose. The Doom Wheel was there for some disruption. Tzeentch is fine versus Cathay's frontline. As you can see, his spin is pretty good at clearing out Jade Warriors if they had them, or Onyx Cromen, or Jade Lancers, so he's just generally fine. I just had to back off from Tzeentch until he got inundated with Triads and Rat Ogres and stuff, and then he couldn't do very much. But, like, is the Ashen Sorcerer the right answer? No, I was having a bit of fun. Is a Doom Wheel actually a good option versus Cathay? No, I was having a bit of fun. The rest of it's fine. Alrighty. Back to focusing on replays. We have Out There 58 versus Killua, who I know as Titus. A legend! A legend of the multiplayer scene. Oh, I'm getting a whole bunch of replays now. Let's go. Sorry, I'm just saving up some replays. Don't you worry. We got replays for days. No more stalls. How do you feel about Elspeth's dream when she's breath attack when she's on her dragon? I think the dragon is so expensive, it's fine. I honestly don't think she's even going to be taken on her dragon. I think you'll see her mostly on horseback. Aren't Cromen infantry too? Yes. But I wouldn't waste Death Runner's times chasing around Cromen. That's why I brought the dogs. The dogs are there to get the Cromen when they land. But we have a game to focus on. That was not that last game. What do I need to name the replay to? Sorry, that's a legitimate question. You can name it whatever you want. I would prefer not autosave, but you can name it whatever you want. Then just send it to me in Discord DMs. Okay. Chaos Dwarves versus Norska. For Chaos Dwarves, we have a Bull Centaur Render with great weapons that is about to be deleted from the face of the earth, being attacked by multiple doggy dogs. They have Astrogoth Iron Hand with his Hellhammer and Cascading Fire Cloak, the Immortals, Infernal Ironsworn ROR, Chaos Dwarf Warriors, and Infernal Guard, one of which just got Sea Fang, and then some Deathstreak Rock Launchers and stuff like that. Wait a second. Alright, sorry. This build looks suspiciously similar to a different build I was talking to someone else about, so I don't know how they got this exact build. Wait, hold on. This is my exact build. How did Out There end up with it? He was the one talking to me about it. Satra was talking to me about it. What? What is this? Do you have a different account? Sorry, I was talking to someone before the tournament about this exact build, and it's here now, but it's not the person I talked to. I'm so confused. There's Deathtree Rock Launcher. For Norska, it's my build. Wulfric the Wanderer with Seafang, Hunter of Champions. We have a Burning Headcaster, a front line of Marauders with 2 Marauder Berserkers, 3 Skin Wolves, 2 Norskan Ice Wolves, a Beast of Tashdar, and 4 Marauder Hunters of Javelin. This is my build! What the fuck? I know the easy answer is going to be like, oh yeah, I'm Cetra. I have 2 Discord accounts for some reason, but it's weird and I'm confused. So the Chaos Dwarves, their skirmish cav is getting cornered right now by the Norskan Ice Wolves, and now they'll be routed off the map, and their Bull Centaur Render is killed off by the other Skin Wolves and Beasts of Tashnar and whatnot. So pretty good start. Now, this is a problem. I was talking to Cetra when we were making this build, not out there, but I was talking to Cetra. If your opponent brings heavy armor like this, you just ignore it. I said feed Marauders to it 1 by 1, and then they spent all this money on a fancy front line. That means the back line is yours. So just dominate the back line, and this heavy infantry will be there at the end of the game, and then you'll deal with it either by army lossing them or just slowly whittling them down with Skin Wolves and your mass amount of troops. But the thing is you really don't want to overcommit to killing the armored front line. Just go past it, because they spent all that money on it. They spent all that money on it because they want you to fight it, so just don't fight it, is kind of my advice. You can kind of see it back here, right? He's losing Marauders, which, you know, sucks. You never want to lose anything. But on the other side, this person's losing Infernal Guard. They lost their Bull Centaur Renders. They're going to lose their Deathtree Rocket Launcher. So it's just like, get value elsewhere and win that way. Astragoth is whooping Wulfric's ass, and Wulfric's starting to run away. We're getting a couple too many infantry blobs that can be punished by spells and whatnot. These Marauder Hunter Javelins are kiting away in the same direction. They need to go 2 different directions so the Infernal Guard can't chase them both. But overall, Norska's playing this pretty well, so I have, you know, my complaints are more superficial. Deathtree Rocket Launcher getting taken out. Marauder Berserkers and Marauders chasing around Astragoth. Meanwhile, a Seafang goes down some of the Chaos Dwarf Warriors. It's quite nice. And Wulfric is going to join the fight against these Infernal Guard as his dogs continue to try to win out. Norska's ahead on the balance of power as Astragoth fights our little Shaman and Sorcerer of Fire friend. Spies everywhere. Yeah, I gave the build freely, like I said. My entire surprise is this is not the player I was expecting to be taking it. Cascading Fire Cloak giving Chaos Dwarf Warriors 68 melee defense and a little bit more weapon strength. Now, these dogs probably need to be separating out and killing these Infernal Guard with Fire Glaives, maybe killing Astragoth. Them fighting Chaos Dwarf Warriors here is a bit of a mistake. It's just not really worth their time. Other ones are kiting into the distance. Wulfric is overstaying his welcome in some halberds, and now Astragoth's starting to chase him down, so we do have a couple whoopsies coming in here from Norska, but overall they're quite ahead on the balance of power, and I do agree they have a good hold on this game. They just need to not throw it at this point. But Wulfric is likely to die in this situation, unless his route takes him to safety of his own volition, like the AI takes over and gets him to safety perfectly, as they sometimes tend to do. We do have some dogs finally peeling off from fighting those random-ass Chaos Warriors and coming over here. That'll be nice. They're trying to buff up the Skin Wolves. And as long as Wulfric survives, that's fine. You don't really need him to do anything else in this game besides just be a leadership stick. Hi.
Hey, I'm going to head out, so I'm just going to leave this open so the lady...
You want to say hi to people?
Sure.
Okay, just say it, like, slightly loudly.
Oh, hi, everyone.
That's Grace.
Have a fun stream.
We got married yesterday.
No, we didn't.
We got our marriage license, which is pretty much married.
But you can't keep telling people that.
But we're married now.
We're not.
We're married.
Not yet.
We have our rings.
Yeah. Are you wearing it?
Yes.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
Show me your hand. I don't see a ring. Ah.
We got our marriage license yesterday.
We did get our marriage. That's exciting.
We get married in a month and a half.
Yeah, ish.
Closer to 2 months, but
Closer
yeah,
to 2
whatever.
months, still. Ooh.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll be back in a little bit.
Bye. That was Grace. If you didn't catch that. Which, through context clues, I don't know how you wouldn't have grasped that that was Grace. Alright, we still have some Skid Wolves fighting it out. Chaos Dwarf Warriors buffing up Astrogoth, and a little burning head starts to poke the Immortals. But Norska has a very strong hold on the mobility here, so Wulfric needs to honestly pick a corner of the map, go there, and stay really quiet. He needs to not opt back into the fight. He can maybe more seriously throw down Hunter of Champions onto Astrogoth every so often when he's surrounded by Skinwolves to make him easier prey. But Wulfric needs to never enter a fight again. He actually just routes from the concept of being close to anyone. In the distance, we do have a bunch of Marauder Javelins rallying as Infernal Guard get picked off by Marauders and shot to death. So Norska is going to be able to clean up these back areas, get their ranged troops back into the fight, and then do just fine. The Immortals getting to fight Skinwolves is another mistake. Norska needs to dot its I's and cross its T's before just like AFK throwing people into fights, which it feels like they're doing right now. It feels like, I'm not sure if it's an overconfidence thing or just a mistake, but either way, Norska does feel like they're just taking any fight they can, and that's not what should happen here. Like, Wulfric didn't take my advice. It's a replay, right? He can't hear me. But Wulfric didn't take my advice of just hiding in a corner, and he kept trying to get back into the fight or get too close for comfort, and now he's shattered. So now Norska's on a timer before their lord is going to take himself off the map, and they take a leadership debuff. But they need to be doing more of this stuff, where they're like picking off things in the distance, killing them for free, having dogs run down some stuff for free, letting your Skinwolves regenerate, letting your dogs pick off things, because just like opting into a fight with the fire damage, heavily armored Immortals, and just grinding that fight from start to finish, you're going to lose it. Because you're not using your Skinwolves mass, you're not using their charge bonus, you're not using their speed. So you have 3 stats that you're paying for that aren't getting leveraged here. You're just challenging a heavy infantry unit to a stat fight, and that's something the heavy infantry unit's going to win every time. It's not around the finger. Ha! Anyway, Marauder Hunter's Javelins are here. They're throwing back at the Infernal Guard. No, they're throwing at the Immortals. They need to take out the Infernal Guard, though. Because you can kite the rest of this Chaos Dwarf army pretty easily. The problem is these Infernal Guard with their high range are shooting at you. Wulfric's off the map, so everything took a leadership debuff. Post rings in Discord. I will after we get actually married. Skinwolves charging in now, but still, we have 3 Marauder Hunters with the Javelins all the way back here who aren't in the fight yet. Norska is just taking 1v1 fights. They don't have to. Like, they can regroup. They can all come at this as a team. Javelins throwing into the Immortals. Again, they need to be targeting these Infernal Guard Fireglaves. I think the Chaos Dwarves are going to be able to drag this back. It was a good start from Norska. It was a good start. More Skinwolves are back in. Nice rear charge on the Infernal Guard. See, there's the damage that you need. When you get that charge bonus and high impact from the Skinwolves, that's when you can get a lot of damage out. Cascading Fire Cloak is here, but it's almost too late for the Infernal Guard. Their leadership dips down to -18, and they rout. The Immortals are also thinking about routing. This is what Norska needs to do. Can he recover? He was very ahead. A couple flubs brought him behind, but it looks like a good play in the late game might just bring him back into the driver's seat. The Immortals are barely clinging to their leadership, and the Skinwolves are not routing off without Wulfric to keep them in line. One of the Skinwolves that's actually rather healthy considering the state of the game we're in does shatter. Another one's thinking about dying. We still have multiple jab throwers coming back to the fight, but the Chaos Dwarves take the lead on the balance of power. The Skinwolves are getting real low. On leadership, still routing off those Infernal Guard. The Immortals aren't looking too good either. It's Astrogoth versus the world. Can these jab throwers pincushion him? Or will it not be enough? The Skinwolves, you gotta play scummier with them. You gotta back them off. You gotta abuse that healing. Meanwhile, Astrogoth is taking a duel with the Shaman of Fire. Knocking him over a lot, which is a boon for the Shaman of Fire that he's getting to stay alive. And the Infernal Guard, just about dead. And Skinwolves look like they're gonna try and peel. The Shaman Sorcerer of Fire just needs to get away. He needs to live, not because Burning Head's going to be that useful, but because of his balanced power contribution, plus his Encourage aura. Skinwolves opt back into fighting the Immortals. A good rear charge coming in from the other Skinwolves. As their brethren rout, they will plow in, getting more of that impact damage. Now the Javelins all trying to shoot at Astrogoth. He does have 4 physical resistance, 15% missile resistance. still the javelins will get some good damage done as a big hellhammer comes through. Skinwolves do manage to rout the Immortals, but they themselves are so close to routing as the Shaman gets taken out. The balance of power is going into Army Losses territory as these broader hunters are running out of javelins, just kind of becoming half-assed melee infantry. Oh, it's so close. Astrogoth's trying to carry. He might be able to do it as the Chaos Dwarves. I mean, there's no chance these two come back. So it is officially Astrogoth versus the world. Astrogoth cascading fire cloaks himself. He did bring the killing fire, so he is damaging everybody around him just a little bit right now. Marauder Hunters with the ammunition need to back off and get distance so they can throw at Astrogoth. They're trying to fire right now in point-blank range, but they're obstructed because he's in there. They are getting a couple jabs off, and Astrogoth is taking damage. This is no free ride for him as he's down to half HP already. We still have 2 Skinwolves healing up. We have a Shaman Sorcerer of Fire that needs to retreat and be by his Skinwolves to give them that encouraged leadership aura. That's all you're useful for. You're not a good melee combatant right now. You cannot get caught by Astrogoth. The Immortal's still getting hunted down. Astrogoth is gunning. 57 speed towards the 32 speed Shaman of Fire. He suddenly realizes he was in a bad spot. He's like, fuck, 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 get me out of here. I don't want to do it. Oh my god. And he's running. He gets the Marauder Hunters' javelins, but it doesn't matter as Astrogoth just plows straight through him. Robo legs are running him down. And he stops. And he looks. And he swings. And he misses. Shaman Sorcerer of Fire is fucking chilling. As the Skinwolves continue to chase the Immortals off, the Immortals are back to positive leadership. The Skinwolves can't give up on it, but the Skinwolves also can't give up on the Shaman Sorcerer of Fire. But they have, and he's gonna fucking die! Javelins are throwing in at Astrogoth, trying to take him down. This one has 3 ammunition left. All the others are out as the javelins start to hit him. They also do a little bit of friendly fire, but the Skinwolves are back in. Astrogoth's below half HP, and he's fallen as the Skinwolves are here, baby! Other Skinwolves still dealing with the Immortals. The Immortals just refuse to die, hence their name. I guess that's why they're called that. Fine, it makes sense. I'll allow it. I'll allow it. But is Norska overgrouping? Is there another Hellhammer that's coming in? Yes, there is! Yes, there is! I knew it was coming because I'm a mega genius! Ah, fuck, the blob is punished! They're all fucking dead and they're gonna rout! There goes 1, there goes 2, there goes 3! Shuddering and army losses are here! And he fucking does it! Let's go. Oh boy. That was funny. What does the green hand man mean? Now I'm curious. That was quite the game. Hell yeah, dude. Welcome to a new player tournament. Spicy matchups. That was a good game. That was a good game. I liked it a lot. Well played to both. Oh, the Immortals, Infernal Guard of Fireglaves, and Astrogoth all did very, very, very well. And then the rest of the roster kind of got dunked on. I guess the Chaos Dwarfs did okay. For Killua, Skinwolves did very, very well. Marauder Berserkers didn't have a lot of targets. All the dogs did fantastically. Jav throwers paid for themselves, mostly. Marauders got trash canned, so did Wolfric. Considering how close that game was, it's like, I don't want to keep harping on it, but for actual feedback that's not a meme, for Norska, like, once Wolfric got that damage, you just needed to... You need to treat your Lord, and this is in general, not just Norska, but if anybody out there is curious, your Lord has an unspoken global buff. And that global buff is about 10 leadership for your whole army as long as they're alive, right? So, like, it's something that you would play around. This sounds stupid, bear with me. It's something you would play around, and some people would even say is OP, if, like, you had Scrag the Slaughterer, and as long as he was alive, his cauldron of the Great Maw or whatever gave all Gorgers regen, which it does. Like, I'm saying it does. But if he dies or goes off the map, the regen goes away. People would consider the strategy of putting him in a corner, like from the start of the game, putting him in a corner and he's just like global regen for Gorgers. Whether or not that's a good strategy is something they would consider. You kind of need to think about your Lord that way, where like your Lord has any lord in the game has the global plus 10 leadership buff, because if your lord dies, your whole army gets minus 10 leadership. The lord is dead. Right. So kind of think about it in that same way. Even though Wulfric is a combatant, and you're like, well, he has 700 HP, I might as well throw him at something to get whatever last couple swings you can out of him. Don't think about it like that. Think about it like, you know, a global buff or whatever, as long as you can keep him alive. Now, that doesn't mean play defensively all the time. It just means when they're low on HP and no longer function as a combatant, you can just kind of hide them. Patrick, I feel like that's like, that would be kind of annoying to police that all the time. The game seemed fine. The game seemed fine. I didn't see any real rules issues with it. It was fun. All right, we have a lot of games here. Let's take a look. Ooh, a changeling game. We always love a changeling game. We just did Norska versus Dwarfs, so I'll cast that one later. We did already cast a rogue consultant game, so I might cast that one later. Ooh, lanterns. Okay, these are two fun ones. Let's go with these. Let's go. Zero versus Archangel. What up, Turtle Punch? So Zero, if you don't know him, there are three greats in the history of Total War Warhammer. Falcon, debatably the best player in the world at one point. Of the high of highs, Falcon at his height was probably the best player ever. Number two is me, being the best caster on the planet that there ever was. For anything, not just Warhammer, like for anything. All right, me commenting on a football game, better than anybody else. And three, there's Zero. Zero is the third great, because he keeps trying to make the Changeling work, and while I think the Changeling is bad, I appreciate the commitment. All right, Changeling's here. Formless Horror, I can't tell what he's going to turn into until he does it. We have Blue Horrors, Marauders, then Pink Horrors, a Metal Caster of Final Transmutation, and a Soul Grinder of Tzeentch. Versus Cathay, Zhao Ming the Iron Dragon with his own Final Transmutation and the Dragon's Breath, 2 Crane Gunners, 2 Sky Lanterns, some Crowmen, one of which is the Emperor's Crowmen, 2 Iron Hill Gunners, and a bunch of Jade Warriors. Ooh, and we do have 2 Centaurs of Tzeentch flanking. He's transforming, but into what? It's the Sisters of Twilight! I actually do know he likes these guys a lot. So, yeah, he's got the Sisters of Twilight on their Eagle. Soul Grinder's trying to dodge away from the Crane Gunners while his melee / range units get into place. Because the Pink and Blue Horrors can get up to the Crane Gunners, then, you know, they can push them back. Silver Shields, sure, but a tiny health pool and 30 armor still overall will take a lot of damage from Blue and Pink Horrors. Centaurs of Tzeentch are going to have a tough time. A lot of the armor of Cathay has high enough stats they can resist the Centaurs, and it's not like there's cav for them to go hunt down. Crane Gunner's starting to get harassed, and see what I said, man? You have silver shields, but the low armor, low HP is a problem for getting in range of these horrors like this, so the Crane Gunners are going to be shut down soon. That'll leave the Soul Grinder a lot more free to do what it wants, which is probably sniping out the Sky Lanterns, to be honest. Big Final Transmutation managed to hit both Sky Lanterns and Zhao Ming and the front line. Really huge stuff for Tzeentch here, who is down the balance of power early. We'll see how that goes as the Crowmen take a fight against the Centaurs of Tzeentch. They get the charge since they came from flying down to a ground unit. The Centaurs couldn't properly countercharge, but the Sisters of Twilight offering Overwatch fire and the Centaurs higher stats than the Emperor's Crowman and this stuff. It looks like overall an advantageous fight. I guess it's 1 Crowman for 2 half HP bars off of Centaurs. Still rather be Tzeentch there, but I guess it wasn't all bad. Both the Crane Gunners are shattered, and the Sky Lanterns are getting poked down by the laser light show, igniting their precious gases inside those Sky Lanterns, pushing them off. Sky Lanterns aren't with flammable fuel. It's just hot air. It's not flammable. Anything is flammable if you Tzeentch hard enough. Alright, I'm going to change your ways your helium slash just normal nitrogen heated up to make it less buoyant so you go up. Well, more buoyant so you go up. I'm changing that shit to straight up propane. And boom. Oh, it exploded! That's crazy! It exploded! If it was just hot air, how would it explode? Checkmate, atheists. Anyway, Tzeentch is quite up. Their front line is doing fine. Their hybrid shooty-shoot boys are doing well, pushing off Iron Hail Gunners, got rid of both the Crane Gunners, got rid of both the Sky Lanterns, so I'm sure the value of the pink and blue horse is going to be kind of nutty this game. By the end, Sisters of Twilight also still doing pretty well, and really the only thing going any modicum of fine for Cathay is Zhao Ming, who now, the Soul Grinder, uncontested, has 6 shots left to throw at Zhao Ming, and at least poke him down a bit more. Cathay in general is routing. We have Centaurs going to sweep up the Iron Hail Gunners. And another Final Transmutation is down, but who's it for? It is for Tzeentch against Cathay. Zhao Ming can get out of the circle if he notices it's not attached to him. It's just cast in a place and time. The Soul Grinder continues to poke him down. And honestly, I'm wondering why the balance of power is even this close. It feels like this is a runaway Tzeentch game. Onyx Croman still trying to fight against the pink horrors and stuff. Looks like the Chaos Sorcerer of Tzeentch is going to try and hit him a little bit. Hit the Empress Croman and try and get them to go away. Pink horrors that still have ammo. One is being attacked by Zhao Ming. One's being attacked by Empress Croman, so there won't be as much Overwatch fire coming in yet. And Sky Lantern's back at 114 HP. I didn't know the leadership was that good. Okay. I wouldn't hate for the Changeling to throw literally one arrow their way and just kill them, because I think that would be very funny. And also taking free shots in the back from Sky Lantern's not advisable. Now, sniping out Zhao Ming is also a worthy use of your time, but there, his healing has now popped, and he is on fire, so the healing's reduced by half. That's kind of huge. That was very huge. He didn't get nearly as big of a heal as he used to. Now, can someone kill the Sky Lantern? Sky Lantern? 0. 0. There's a Sky Lantern. In one shot, you can kill it. Centaurs have chased off a lot of stuff. Soul Grinder has 2 shots left. Both of them are going for Zhao Ming, who is now turning into a human just as the shot comes in, so I wonder if it's going to miss. Soul Grinder canceled the shot, so he's fine. Someone shoot the Sky Lantern. It's making me furious. Anyway, in my quick battle versus Cathay, you can see now why I was prioritizing infantry clearing so much, is Cathay isn't actually that broken in a lot of aspects. It's mostly, right? They have some other stuff, but mostly it's that their front line is so cost effective. And you see how long this 500 gold per unit front line is holding against the blue horrors, against the marauders, against the pink horrors, against pink fires and whatever. Well, not pink fires. Sisters of Twilight shooting down on them every so often. They're just very, very tanky. And you do need some good armor-piercing anti-infantry. There's also Celestial Dragon Guard. I just assumed that was a Jade Warrior Halberd, to be honest, but it is a Celestial Dragon Guard. Cathay still has a metric shit ton of infantry. They still have a Sky Lantern that's shooting at the Soul Grinder. Just kill the Sky Lantern! Just shoot it at one time! Ugh. Pink Horrors kiting away from Jade Warriors, trying to shoot at them as the Soul Grinder goes to try and snipe Zhao Ming again. Zhao Ming gets his own Final Transmutation off onto the Soul Grinder and some Centaurs, though it looks like Zero is trying to dodge with the Centaurs, trying to get out of there. Sisters of Twilight continue to burn through ammo. Not on the Sky Lantern! Oh, I don't know who cast which Final Transmutation, but another Final Transmutation onto Zhao Ming is the right call. And Sisters of Twilight have now started using their ammunition on the multi-shot on the Jade Warriors. They realize that the Jade Warriors are going to be a big, big problem. But I like this. Getting so close to finishing off Zhao Ming. If you can do that, you can lower their leadership so much. The Soul Grinder should be able to terror out them, and then the Centaurs can chase them around as long as you kill the Sky Lantern, because it's currently shooting at your Centaurs and lowering their leadership while also slowly killing their models. Zhao Ming uses another little breath attack on the Marauders to try and get rid of them. Sisters of Twilight are still trying to clear out some stuff as the Soul Grinder fails to kill Zhao Ming over and over again. The Sky Lantern shatters of its own volition. That's fine. It's gone now. I can stop talking about it. As Zhao Ming gets nice and big, dodging the Sisters of Twilight most recent shot. And they did switch back to their single target mode. It does provide armor sundering, but I still don't know if it's worth it. Please kill Zhao Ming. We gotta kill Zhao Ming! Is there a form where the Changeling becomes weaker? Every form. Zhao Ming, 600 HP, refusing to die. 400, 450. 300. So this is a Twilight, only 2 shots left. And the Jade Warriors are currently beating the shit out of this caster of Tzeentch. Xiaoming's down to 200 HP. His leadership is just fine. 180. His leadership is still chilling. Holy shit, I didn't know he was unbreakable. What is this? He dies. He fucking dies. Never broke. Never surrendered. He just died. I'm sure your commentary would make even a Belgian pipe smoking championship seem fun. See? They get it. Little Troll gets it. I'm perfect in every way. Alright. The Changeling has 1 shot left as the Sisters of Twilight. Big old blob. That's going to be a nice shot. Yeah, that was a good shot. And now they need to charge in. They need to charge in. They got to abuse the leadership because that's the only way they're going to win this. They're not going to win this by a stat check. They just got to get these guys to rout. A Celestial Dragon Guard are at 5. These guys are at 4. 0 charge! 0 charge in! You can do it, 0! 0, you're out of ammo. Realize, just dive in. Shit, no, they're recovering. Their leadership's recovering. 0 might have missed his opportunity. If Cathay wins, it's because of that one moment. Hey, where do I send the replays? DM me on Discord. Just send it to my direct messages. Now the Celestial Dragon Guard have recovered from the shock damage, and their leadership is higher than ever. Can a rear charge from the Centaurs still take them out? This Metal Caster has been in this fight for way too long. Doesn't need to back off. He's used a lot of Final Transmutation, so I don't think he has a lot of spells left, but still, it's not just not worth it to let him die. Okay. All of a sudden, Tzeentch wins. I think the Cathay player surrendered, because it didn't look like everything was routing, but... Whew. Whew. That was close. That was close. Okay. 0 played that game mostly perfectly. The only mistake I noticed almost cost him the game when everything went down to like 5 leadership and his sisters just sat there when they could have charged in and broke them and ended the game. Otherwise, he played fine. Also, I think letting the Sky Lantern fire for that long was a mistake. Thankfully, it didn't get that much value because it's a fucking Sky Lantern for some reason. But, I mean, firing 1 shot to kill it instead of letting it fire at you like 20 times is probably a mistake. Fine, but yeah. I think overall he played pretty clean with the Changeling. He got the Changeling Sisters of Twilight to actually do some decent work. 152 kills versus Cathay ain't nothing to sneeze at. So GG, let's check in on the tournament things. Alright, message requests. Camel Rider. Hello, my name on Steve is Massively Cute Panda. Oh. I'm collecting some replays and checking in on the tournament's status. So, everyone stay calm. The tournament is almost entirely on round 4, so we can cast one more replay before I might have to do, like, who's going to final stuff? Okay. Let's do this one. The Best versus Guillaume. Can I send in a second match? Yes, no guarantee I'll cast it. I guarantee I'll cast one of everybody's, and then after that I'll just cast what looks interesting or what I have time for. The Best versus Guillaume. Guillaume is an Italian streamer for Total War Warhammer 3. If you care to go check him out. Or don't. You're an adult, you can do whatever you want. For the Dakos of Debes, I believe. Yes, Debes. Dread Spears, Blackheart Corsairs, Witch Elves across the front line. We do have a War Hydra, a Beast Caster with Pan's Pelt, Wiston's Wild Form, and Flock of Doom. Crows of Cain are getting shredded by something. Crone Hellebron's also in here. Hype, and then some Knights of the Ebon and Dark Riders. For the Empire, we have Karl Franz up on his Griffin, Deathclaw. 2 War Wagons, a Hellblaster Volley Gun, a Jade Wizard, and then some Empire Knights, Demigryph Knights with Halberds, and a front line of Spears and Halberds and Swords. But we do have a Hellblaster Volley Gun. Hello, dear friend. As it aims at the War Hydra. Bop, bop, bop. Bop, bop, bop. Bop, bop, bop. Little Troll, that is true. I have not tried liver paste. Crone Hellebron's trying to get over here and fight. Crows of Cain and Blackheart Corsairs just disengaging for Karl Franz, but he's going to ignore them and continue on. Hydra is still soaking up damage. It will be able to heal through most things. Its biggest problem is leadership, so as long as its leadership can stay stable, it will get those big bursts of healing from another takes its place. And the Dark Elves are trying to close in around the flanks with some of their mobility to maybe surround the War Wagons or the Hellblaster Volley Gun and take them out real quick. Demigryph Knights with Halberds did charge into the front line, trying to bolster the faltering ranks. And once again, with Witch Elves, I do recommend you pop Witch Brew right away as soon as they engage something, because they need that big damage buff, and you're going to forget to use it later, so just use it on the frontline contact. Knights of the Ebon Claw charging in, and the Empire Knights are being pulled in to stop the Crows of Cain from killing the Hellblaster Volley Gun, but that does leave them open to a rear charge from the Knights of the Ebon Claw, who will be more than happy to take that fight. And the Hydra is still just eating damage without much care. There's the Gaze of Cain. Witch Elves have Witch Brew and the Gaze of Cain, giving them insane stats, but they still get terror routed away because they're too damaged at this point. And now they also have, Murderous Prowess being popped, so a lot of stats for those Witch Elves. Knights of the Ebon Claw are in their dream situation. They're just in a bump and grind fight with a bunch of armored cavalry without getting charged in the back or something like that. Now, they're still fighting Demigryph Knights with Halberds and the Reichel and Windfang, but this is probably the best value they're going to be able to get in the situation that is set up before them. Because there are Demigryph Knights and there are Karl Franz. It's not like there's easy pickings, but this is a good fight for them as long as they don't break. I mean, look at the damage they're getting back into the Demigryph Knights and the Empire Knights, and the Hellblaster Volley Gun was mostly shut down for a lot of this. The Hydra's leadership faltered, even though he was getting some healing. He's back now. That is one of his breaks being used. Unfortunately, Dark Riders are peeling off the War Wagons, getting pretty good damage onto them. The Empire's up on the balance of power, but I still think this is a little up in the air for now. Halberds are pushed off by the Witch Elves, which will mean this Hellblaster Volley Gun should get shut down any moment. That'll be a big balance of power spike for the Dark Elves, but it doesn't look like anybody's actually attacking the Hellblasters yet. The Witch Elves are walking past it. Oh, no! A whoopsie, a flipsy, and a disaster for the Dark Elves. There we go. The Witch Elves are turning around. Now they'll get the Hellblaster Volley Gun, though it did take another 1,000 or 2,000 HP off the Hydra for its efforts. The Knights of the Ebon Claw fought to the very end. Didn't get a lot of value, but again, they got countered by the Demigryph Knights and Franz. At least they got a bit of a fight before the War Wagons got to them. Blackheart Corsairs and Dread Spears poking down the War Wagons and the Demigryph Knights. There's another War Wagon that is more free and clear. It should be fine to just kite away from here. And Franz takes a duel with the War Hydra. It's trying to get some shots back on him. I don't know how much healing he's already received from the Jade Wizard, who brought Earthblood and Regrowth. So I have no idea where Karl Franz's healing cap is. But overall, I still think this is a pretty even game at this point. And Hellebron's trying to catch the Jade Wizard. If she can, she should dumpster his ass. As I say that, she jumps past him and misses her first attack. But he has 30 melee defense, low armor, and she has 98 melee attack and a higher speed. She should be fine, but she's just kind of derping out and missing him right now because of foot character problems. Crows of Cain are coming for the healthy War Wagons. Sword Dread Spears. We need these Dark Riders. And I guess the Knights of the Ebon Claw to get up in here and really harass these War Wagons down. Not as much as it shouldn't be the infantry's problem. The infantry and the War Hydras are dealing with the rest of the Empire Cav that's over here. Demigryph Knights and Empire Knights getting slowly whittled down as the War Hydras continue to just take up their damage. And a Regrowth is out for Franz. His healing cap's got to be around here somewhere. Hellebron's getting good fight in. Another Wiston's Wild Form Overcast, giving everybody around here armor and more damage. And there are the Dark Riders. Pan's Impenetrable Pelt, giving them melee defense and physical resistance. Try and help finish off the War Wagons. They are so close to taking models off the War Wagons, but it looks like they are going to get peeled by the War Wagons helping each other. And it's still 8 out of 8 War Wagon models. If you're wondering why most people hate War Wagons, it's this. Because, like, multi-entity kite, like repeater crossbows or Waywatchers or something, when you hit them, you can take out models and lower their DPS for mistakes. War Wagons, you can't punish their mistakes until you, like, literally kill the whole unit, is when they start to finally lose models. And they're a heavily armed, fast, armor-piercing chariot with a ton of ammunition. People generally find them unfun. Generally. You're going to find one or two people that are like, War Wagons are super fun and interactive, but, like, most people fucking hate them. And in the next patch, I guarantee you they're not nearly this strong. They are mid or bad. As they're currently being attacked by cavalry, they're still just shooting at the Sorceress of Beast and deleting her, as the Dark Riders have caught up to them, but Earthblood from the healing caster keeps them alive. Still 7 out of 8 total models. The Hydra and the infantry are all still waddling over. And this is the one real weakness of War Wagons, is infantry. Like, they don't have the ammunition or explosion damage to kill all this infantry. There's not a lot of good targets for them left, but still, it hurts. Dread Knights were getting shredded by halberds, by the way. They're the worst situation possible, not best at all. I meant that they actually got a fight and didn't get kited by War Wagons, Patrick. Jesus. You're being really critical today. We can take a little bit off the top here, dude. It's fine. All right, another regrowth in for the Demon Knights with halberds. Dread Spear is still charging in to get a bit of a fight. And we'll see if Franz can deal with all this. Franz, like most duelist characters, doesn't really want to just pile into stuff and sit around. And the Dark Elves do have a lot of stuff, but I wonder if their stuff's too damaged that it's all gonna just tear out immediately. Ooh, that's gonna be kind of cool. Gaze of Cain giving them more leadership and rampage, but a ton more melee attack, and they should be able to rip into Franz pretty good. They got a little bit of damage. Now they're just going to rampage forever. Shatter off some halberds, more demigryphs falling back. The War Hydra is still getting kited by the War Wagons. 1 volley left on that one, and then they've gotten all of their damage out. 1,400 for that one, 1,600 for the other. Dark Elf still trying to chase down some people. Foot Khorne is the best. I would strongly disagree because she had this Jade Wizard dead to rights and missed him like 7 times. Loopy, that is exactly correct. That is exactly correct, but they just feel more vulnerable and less worth it. Empire Knights almost routed off. Demigryph Knights also charging away. With the new rampages, I think Khorne would be meta if she could rampage the enemy in some way, even if it's limited. But the fact that she can only rampage her own troops is pretty whatever, because you just walk away from her. Hey, Witch Elves finally catch the Jade Wizard and beat his ass! Let's go. War Wagons are out of ammo and now just acting like chariots as they roll through Witch Elves and such. Dread Spears are chasing around Demigryph Knights and Empire Knights, but the Dark Elves are getting drawn out. And then that'll open them up to get charged by Franz and all the mobility. They really need to blob up at this point, as much as it sucks, and just get their shit together. Alright, Khorne Hellebron's still trying to keep her people in the fight. Keep things going. Now, they are very close to the white line, so if they tear her out, they're just going to go straight off the map, which could be a concern. And the War Wagons are rolling through the Dark Elf infantry. And this is what I was worried about getting drawn out, is now your Dread Spears are way out of position. So all this stuff is getting picked off by the Empire, while the Spears aren't even here to play the game. And another Gaze of Cain is used, but it's used on units that are just about to rout anyway, so unfortunately a bad use here from Hellebron. And the War Wagons go rolling straight through the Dread Spears. Get stopped up a little bit, take very little damage, and Hellebron's trying to rejoin her spears now. But yeah, Dark Elves needed to just group up with the Dread Spears and not, like, chase into this corner. I'm gonna fast forward at this point. Empire chases off some stuff, War Wagons come back. Franz dives in. I guess it doesn't matter where his heal cap is, because he has no healing left. Life Wizard's gone. But immediately, a Dread Spear is routed off. Hellebron's trying to get a fight with Franz. Does have Gall Miraz popped. He has everything popped. Terror outs off the Dread Spears, leaving the Khorne all alone. And now they'll just run off all the Dread Spears and Cycle Charge Khorne to death. Bop. 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 There we go. Alright. Rip de Bess, not de Bess Lord Choice. Witch Elves did very, very well. Black-Heart Corsairs also did quite nicely. Dread Spears did very well. Cold and Dread Knights got wrecked. That was about it. Everything else actually did pretty well for him, but the Cold and Dread Knights, Hellebron got rolled. I would say the Hydra did fine, because it distracted so many things for so long. Franz, the War Wagons, Demigryph Knights with Halberds did fantastically well. Empire Knights did okay. The front line did meh, and the Hellblaster Polygon paid for itself. GG. Hellebron not ITP. It's true that that's sad, but I also don't think that would have mattered. She went from full health to half health in 2 charges from Franz, and then Franz just stuck around and terror-rotted her, but it's like, he could have just backed off and did it again and again and again. Alright, let's save up some replays. And then check in on the tournament. How about that? Saving up replays from the best and other people. Okay, and there's Energized and a Cure. Okay. Alright. I saved most of the replays. Where are we at with the tournament? Mostly done. Dragon King versus Akir. Zero the Fool versus Hellion. And Rogue Consultant versus Fish. So you're not all operating in total darkness. Let's go check this out real fast. So Akir sent me versus Bongo 0-1. Akir replaces Eggsy. So yeah. Alright, that's handled. And then where else is Zegzy? Because it's not really Zegzy. Akir hopped in. You won your second game versus Tira's. Okay, so Energized should have 1 more point. Where's Energized at? So Tira's doesn't actually have 4. That is actually different. Tira's has 3. Because 1 game was misreported. Camel Rider, do you actually have 4? I believe so. Guillama. What's Guillama at? Because I always miscount him somehow. So 1, 2, 3. He lost a tier. Okay, so Guillama's actually a 3. Gotcha. So Camel Rider is a legit 4. It doesn't look like anybody else is a legit 4. Energized had an incorrect one. His incorrect one was versus Tira's. So Energized is 4. Camel Rider is a 4. And are any of my 3s still playing? Wait, did Zegzy lose? I thought we determined Zegzy lost some. Yeah, there we go. Dragon, Zero, and Hellion. Are any of you threes? Hellion's a 2. Zero's a 2. Dragon's a 2. Okay. I think we have our top 2. I think it's legit. Camel Rider and Energized. I believe. Because Energized, he won 3 on the bracket, and then this one was misreported. Camel Rider has a perfect 4-0. So, unless I did that horrendously wrong, as I save another replay, I think our finals is pretty straightforward. Energized and Camel Rider. Play it out. Dun 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 dun. Energized and Camel Rider won all 4 of their games. Yes. Just making sure. I'm checking DMs. I don't really like to put DMs on streams in case someone says something fucking terrible. But yeah. Because Tira's should be 3, Energize should be 4, which will leave just these 2 having a perfect 4-0, and then we'll have them fight each other. I believe. I'm going to refresh just to make sure that's still true. Yes. Zero and Hellion are fighting it out, but both are at 2s. So one of them is going to be a 3, which is not a 4. Okay. So I think we're good. I'm just telling the finalists to do that. All right. We have those guys going. Let's get back to casting some fun replays till we have our finals match sent to us. So let's keep looking for people we haven't seen yet. We've seen Archangel and Rogue Consultant. We've seen Guillaume. We've seen Yashkaf. We've seen Zero. We've seen Out There. DeBess. I have not seen Corvus Glaive yet, so we'll cast some Corvus Glaive. I might go back and cast some other people's replays that we've already seen, but I'm prioritizing people we haven't seen, because I do like to get everybody at least one game on stream. DeBess taking the... Oh, my game crashed! No! I clicked on it while it was loading. That's my fault. You shouldn't be able to click on a game while it's loading. That should crash your game. Corvus. Alright. It was this one. Corvus Glaive. What up, Segos? Dwarfs versus Khorne. Honestly, a tough matchup for Khorne. They don't have a ton of arm-piercing infantry. They just have bloodletters, which are kind of difficult to use correctly, and they don't even bring bloodletters in this build, but we'll see. For the dwarves, we have 2 cannons. We're both aiming at the blood shrine of Khorne right away. 1 giant slayer and a regular slayer. We have 2 quarrelers, a thunderer, trollhammer torpedo before they get reworked, and then 2 miners blasting charges, a front line of dwarf warriors and longbeards mixed. Mostly just this longbeard with great weapons. Thork Ironbrow on foot with Get out of the way. Rune Negation, Slowness, and Speed. And then his AoE, Perfect, better than Perfect Vigor and ITP Aura. And then his Armor and Flame Resist. Cool. On the other side for Khorne, we have a Blood Shrine of Khorne to offer a little bit of buffs and disruption if it can even get to the front line. Fleshhounds. And these guys need to stop walking. They need to start running. But anyway, Fleshhounds of Khorne, Minotaurs of Khorne. A Cultist with his Bloodletter summon, Valkyria the Bloody up in the sky with Spear Slaupnir, and then her Demon Shield. And then a bunch of Marauders, some of which have dual weapons. One Chaos Warrior of Khorne with Halberds. Cannons have now turned towards the Minos. And they're going through it right now. Kind of want to see the next cannonball just smoke one of them. Fire, you cowards. Yeah, they're working on it. One of them fired over somewhere else. Jesus, what's your reload rate? 3 years? Just shoot! There it is. Flying Moo Cow! Dead Moo Cow. Anyway, Khorne's taking a bit of a shellacking, as everybody knew they would. Miners with blasting charges trying to blunt the charge a little bit and take out some Marauders before the fight has even begun. Valkyria does throw down her Demon Shield as she starts to charge in. Doesn't want those Trollhammer torpedoes taking her out. Trollhammer torpedoes have a different target, though. The Blood Shrine of Khorne, which they should do very, very well against. Really good shot in from them. Blood Shrine is about to Demonic Instability Crumble. Can it keep itself in the game with leadership and healing? Now, Fleshhounds going around the sides. If they can get onto the cannons, they can be pretty huge, but there's a lot of Slayers to deter that exact thing from happening. Khorne is quite behind on the balance of power. One of the Minos is almost dead. The Blood Shrine is almost dead. The other Minotaur is also taking a lot of damage. It is a dire state for Khorne right now, but a Bloodletter summon is about to come out of the Cultist, and that'll kill like an entire Dwarf unit somewhere. Valkyria is here providing some support. And the Fleshhounds are unfortunately about to die, but can they take the cannons with them? That would be worth it, but if they can't, which it doesn't look like they will, then that will just be a sacrifice from Khorne for nothing. Their expensive Minotaurs are running. Their expensive Blood Shrine is about to Demonic Instability Crumble. Their Fleshhounds are both about to Demonic Instability Crumble as well. It is brutal and it is sad. What can be done about this? Cultist of Khorne, you gotta use your summon if you have it, buddy. Running out of time. Blood Shrine starts to kill itself off. There it goes. Trollhammer torpedoes complete their task. Sad cow noises. First replay you sent is a Mammoth versus 4 blunderbusses. We'll check it out. We'll check it out. We got time. Other Fleshhound is gone. Marauders with dual weapons are going to rout any second now. And it's just a Khorne front line versus the Dwarfs at this point. And we still have the Bloodletter summon. It does have to be used. You gotta use it! You gotta use it. Valkyria is doing really good work onto Thoric. That's kind of the only thing that's doing any amount of work. As Thunderers light her up at point-blank range. Ow! I wonder if she has her Demon Shield anytime soon. Still, the Cultist of Khorne is holding on to that tactical Bloodletter summon. Doesn't want to use it in case he needs it later. There it is at last. As he's surrounded by Giant Slayers and taking a ton of damage, the Bloodletters are out. I wonder what they're going to do. Khorne is slowly getting through the front line. Can they drag this back? I'm doubtful, but I'm trying to keep an open mind because they're actually doing better against the front line than I would have thought. I mean, if you can kill the Trollhammers and the cannons, that's a lot of damage value off of the Dwarves. Bloodletter's getting Rune of Slowness, but they're still more than fast enough to keep up with the Corlers due to their charge bonus. Marauders also trying to help out. Cultist of Khorne is about to die, so are the Minotaurs. Valkyria is still pursuing Thoric and has almost got him dead to rights. Can any Khornate Marauders get into the backline and shut down these cannons and Trollhammer torpedoes? It's looking like no. Good Spear Slaupnir for a little bit of poke damage. But with the other Minotaur is getting pushed off now. The Blood Shrine already dead. Cultist just about dead. I'm not sure. Valkyria does maybe finish off Thoric here. Yeah, she kills him. Okay, is this the comeback? Don't call it a comeback. Been here for years. Yada, yada, yada. Bathe in my tears. I think that's what he said. Thunderers are routing. Miners are routing. Cultists got onto the cannon. Quarrelers are routing, though they'll be back. They'll be back for sure. Yeah, their leadership's already positive. We'll see, man. Maybe the Marauders get back here and do something after all. And Khorne's killed a lot of Dwarves. Do they have maybe a late-game Sword of Khorne? I don't know. I still would rather be the Dwarves here, but this is getting, like, a little scary. A little. This cannon is just about dead. Cultists trying to disrupt the back line. We still have 5 Minos over here in the party taking a lot of damage from fighting against these Longbeards with great weapons. There they go. Those starting to charge in, just trying to get the Dwarves to break. Thunderers are back, Quarrelers are back, and my dwindling hope for Khorne is being snuffed out. But that was a valiant struggle to the end. I'll give them that. I'll give them that, as Quarrelers are about to help out a little bit. Accidentally doing some damage to the Dwarven Brethren. If he has a Sword of Khorne, I hope he uses it just because. Valkia tries to stop Thunderers, but Giant Slayers are able to peel off the Cultists of Khorne, and then the Iron Drakes start getting to shooting to some of the Marauders and Valkia. Even though she's not large, they get enough damage down to trigger army losses. That's GG. Marauders of Khorne get Relentless Rage, so they're never going to die. Except for when they do. GG. Well played. For the best, his Slayers did very well. Trollhammer Torpedoes and Cannons did very well. Thunderers did great. Quarrelers did great. His melee infantry held for a very long time. This was good. How do you see this matchup after the DLC? Impossible for Khorne. Impossible. Even without the Barge, impossible. There's just too many options for the Dwarves. It's already one of the much harder ones in the game, and it's just about to get worse. So, no, Khorne is getting massively left behind in the state of the game, as every other faction is getting DLCs. Which, like, it's good. It's still good that Nurgle is getting a DLC that they desperately need, right? Like, that's an objectively good thing. But as the strong factions get stronger, and as the weak factions get brought up to par, Khorne's just becoming one of the last few that's getting left in the dust, which they also have a DLC coming up eventually, so that makes sense for now, but yeah. Do demons need a global leadership buff? Like, 95% yes. I'm sure someone's going to point out a demon unit or two that don't need buffs, and that's true, but then, like, most of them do. Like, pink horrors. Pink horrors are fine. They don't need a buff. Blue horrors are fine. They don't need a buff. Screamers are fine. They don't need a buff. Like, you can point out things like that. But on the whole, yeah, all types of Furies need a buff. Nurglings need a buff. Plague Bearers need a... You know, you can go down the list, and it's like, most of the demon units, yes. You could leave, like, 4 or 5 alone. All right, let's keep looking for people we haven't cast all day. I don't remember if we cast a Hellion game, so we might need a Hellion game. Yashkov and Killua. Tyrias and Guillama. I haven't cast... No, I did cast Tyrias. I think. Corvus and Mr. Teufel. McCallum and Jay. Haven't cast any Jay yet today. McCallum and Titus. What? Oh, that was my quick battle. Okay, so we got a couple here of people that I maybe haven't cast. There's also just some fun ones in here. Let's do this because I'm not sure if I've cast a Hellion game or not. But we were literally just casting the best. Let's do this one. Hellion versus Zero. Sure. Marathi, a Charybdis, a bunch of Bolt Throwers, and some Chaff versus Mutal Vortex Beast, the Changeling, and a Metal Caster. Cool, cool, cool. Okay. Suffering from success? What's happening? What's going on? Fire, Blood, and Demons would be awesome. Agree to disagree, but sure, why not? We already went through the builds on the load screen, so I'm just going to kind of talk about specific stuff. Charybdis versus Demonic Factions actually isn't all that bad, the minus leadership buff can get them down to demonic instability crumbling faster, and then it's still a decent anti-large duelist versus like the Mutal Vortex Beast. I don't think it'll be meta, but this is one of the matchups where it isn't like fucking trolling. Mutal Vortex Beast trying to get out there, trying to do some stuff. Hey, the Changeling is in fact the Sisters of Twilight, doing their best to participate. As Black Ark Corsairs in the front line are getting slammed by Chaos Knights and Zongors. Charybdis moving over to help out a little bit. Morathi also going that way. She has Doom and Darkness. Yeah, that's why. So you want to Doom and Darkness plus the Charybdis for a minus 25 leadership debuff, and you can get rid of demonic units pretty quickly, like Screamers or something. Mutal Vortex Beast without any of that is routing off. Actually, ooh, yeah, good use of Doom and Darkness. Get that thing to rout. Mutal Vortex Beast is kind of a cowardly monster. It's running away with 1/3 of its HP due to the effects of that, while bolt throwers continue to harass it. Morathi landing to help some of her Harpies. They're going to get rear charged by Chaos Knights. Charybdis is nearby trying to help out. We don't know how much it can. Morathi's using a damage Soul Stealer. It's not going to be able to heal her up much because she's still full HP, but just trying to punish that blob. We do have Dark Riders on the high ground that need to get activated and come downhill to start peeling some of these guys off. They won't do that much damage, but they'll just get their bodies in the way to keep the bolt thrower crews safe as they can be, I guess. Dark Shard's getting shut down by the Chaos Knights of Tzeentch, and Tzeentch is in a good position overall so far. If these Zongors can slip past the Dreadspears and just focus on the Reaper Bolt Thrower crew, that would be more worth their time. Now the Charybdis applying that debuff to the Screamers. If Morathi can pair it up with the Doom and Darkness, maybe they can get these guys to Demonic Instability Crumble. Doesn't look like that's going to be the case as the Screamers are opting out and going over towards that Bolt Thrower. Dark Elf range is in disarray, and the Mutal Vortex Beast is rejoining the fight as the Sisters of the Twilight Changeling hang out of the battle. Just staying alive. Dark Riders are at last activated. Maybe too little, maybe too late as I double click and accidentally get a very close-up shot of a Charybdis. That was kind of spooky scary when I wasn't expecting it to happen. Overcast, Doom, and Darkness on everybody. Here comes the big tech play with the multiple leadership debuffs. The Screamers are taken out, and the Chaos Knights are terror routing away, soon to be chased down by the Dark Shards. That is why you bring the Charybdis, and that was a good use of that combination. Mutal Vortex Beast still getting ground down. We do have a Dark Shard rallying. Immediately gets orders to shoot the Mutalith in its big dumb face. And Harpies are trying to hurt the Changeling just a little bit. Can the Dark Elves rally around this? Sisters of Twilight. Is that the Doom Bolt from Morathi, or is that a Bolt of Change onto the Harpies? It's Morathi's. Hits the Changeling Sisters, actually doing a good amount of damage, but the Harpies are doomed by this effort. I feel like similar to a different game today with Dark Elves getting the infantry advantage, and that is largely what they're going to be relying on in the late game. Dark Riders getting a recharge onto Zongors, maybe trying to rout those guys, but the Zongors appear to be hardy enough to withstand it, while the Mutal Vortex Beast is providing that support that they desperately need. Dark Shards are pathing past the Mutalith to shoot at the Chaos Knights, who are, for now, out of range. We do have Zongors once again closing in on our little Dark Shard friends. They're not going to get that many volleys off. Sisters of Twilight Changeling fighting Morathi next to a Charybdis is bold, but it appears to have worked out. And then Morathi whiffs a Soul Stealer. It will still heal her, because even if you cast it on the ground, Soul Stealer heals the same amount, which is kind of dumb. So she's stealing the soul of the grass, which is healing her up. But good dodge there from Zero. Gets away from all those guys. And Sisters of Twilight are taking out more and more of the crew. Final Transmutation onto the Charybdis. Just a little bit of poke. Even though it looks like a Hydra, it is not. It does not have any guaranteed healing of its own. So all the damage does matter. Bolt Thrower is trying to poke down the Changeling a little bit. There is a Doom and Darkness. As they rear charge the Dark Riders, who are trying to take out the Chaos Sorcerer of Metal, the Charybdis is coming in to really get this Mutalith cringing. 40 leadership on him before he gets rear charged and before the debuff applies. That leadership is going to sink. In comes the Charybdis for the big monster mash. See, now that leadership's already at 2, Doom and Darkness is wearing off, though. We got to get some big hits in to get this guy to rout now. There it is. He only has 600 HP, though. The Charybdis might just be able to kill him regardless of him routing. Yeah. There it goes. Good job, Charybdis. And the Chaos Sorcerer is going to rout too any second now. Morathi takes on the fight with the Changeling. She has anti-large and armor-piercing effect. Not a lot of people remember. The Mutalith is dead. Changeling's taking big damage. It's getting the Sisters heal, but can it proc before the Sisters straight up die? 250 HP left. They need to fly away with 99 speed. They could probably get to safety. They could probably get the heal off. Morathi's after him, though. 105 speed, though it is a flying unit versus a flying unit. So does she actually manage to get a hit off before the heal takes place? 7, 6, 5, 4, and they're dead! She cut him! That's not something that's actually guaranteed in a flyer versus flyer. Sometimes they just follow each other around. Now, without a lord in the area, the leadership debuff is too much. Doom and Darkness in Marathi's back pocket and a Charybdis providing that constant leadership debuff. That is going to be army losses for Tzeentch. And the Charybdis Doom and Darkness tech is good. Not everything is just about healing. Not everything is just about damage. Sometimes it's abusing leadership. Which is actually a tech that I think more people need to realize. I will go on record saying that. I don't want to sell out my own strategies, but I have been winning a lot of tournaments off of leadership abuse versus factions that just focus too much on the normal meta stuff. Normal meta stuff is better in like 80% of cases, but there are some specific cases where it's like, I mean, you can take this healing spell, or I could take Doom and Darkness, overcast it, break all your stuff at full HP, and then it doesn't matter. Yeah. Is the Changeling a Shadows... What? Is Changeling to Sisters of Twilight... Oh, Sisters of Twilight. No, it's just Zero's pet project. It's not like meta, it's just Zero's flavor that he really, really likes. Chaos Knights did well. Zongors did well. Screamers did well. Blue Horrors did fine. For Hellion, Charybdis and Marathi did really great. Bolt Throwers kept Tzeentch under pressure. Dark Shards got mostly shut down by good Chaos Knight play. And then his Dread Spears actually got a lot of value out. Harpies did okay and Dark Riders did okay. So, GG's. GG's, lads. New house looks nice. Brings out your casual flexing. I'm stretching because I'm just sitting here. Tearses is messaging me about things. Okay, so Tearses came into my DMs and accused me harshly of not having cast any of his games. I thought his name looked familiar, so I thought we had, but whatever. I'll make sure I cast one. So we have Tearses versus Guillaume we have to get to. And then we have Michael versus Jay that I know we have to get to. So after that... Oh, and here's Aki. Okay, we have 3 more games we have to get to, and then I'll just cast whatever I think looks interesting. So let's get to this one. Tearses versus Guillaume. And I was going to cast this one anyway, because this looks funny. This looks very funny. 3 Demigryph Knights with Halberds and Fronds versus 2 Crushers and 2 Mournfang Cav with great weapons. That's a monstrous Cav battle, and that's not something you get to see very often. Here we go! Empire with Karl Franz, all of his big buffs, Reikland, Runefang, Stand Your Ground, and then Galramaz for just himself. We have a Flying Caster as well, Regrowth and Earthblood. Triple Demigryph Knights with Halberds. There they are. 1 Empire Knight, just 1 Empire Knight, 2 Huntsmen, and then front line of Spears. Be proud of your gains, brother. I'm not proud of anything ever. But also, thanks. Ogre Bulls with Iron Fists for Guillaume's front line. Ogre Bulls regular, some Noblars as well. We have 2 Mournfang Cav with great weapons, the Sky Striders, and another Crusher with great weapons, some Noblar Trappers, and a Slaughtermaster with Great Maul with just Troll Guts. You know what, Lil Trill? You know what? Just because I hang the same sheet behind me doesn't mean it's not a new house. Anyway. Spearmen getting run down by Crushers. Sorry, Mournfang Cav. But they weren't braced, so they do take a lot of damage on the charge. It was a great charge for the Ogre Kingdoms. They probably don't want to sit and fight here. But we'll see. This could be a bait to try and get these Demigryphs involved, and then the Crushers are going to come out of the woods and slam into their flanks. That could be worth it. But Franz is nearby, and Huntsmen are offering support. This overall probably is going to be a bad engagement for the Ogre Kingdoms. I'm ready to be surprised, because sometimes... Crushers feel like a weird unit where sometimes they just slam fools, and other times they do nothing and die. If this is a slam fools moment, then sure, you'll kill Franz, some Demigryphs, and some Empire Knights, and it'll be worth it. Oh, I like this, though. Sending some of your Ogres into the backline to push off the Huntsman makes this much less risky if you're not also getting shot by Huntsman the whole time. Though, none of the Crushers are actually fighting the demigryphs. Like, I would like for, like, 1 or 2 crushers to go down here and stop the... a crusher and ogre bull to go down here and stop the huntsman. The other crusher needed to finish the flank. Because now the flank didn't happen. It is demigryphs and Franz just getting a straight-up fight on top of their own spears. One Mournfang Cav is already routing while getting healing. That's a bit of a disaster. And our crushers back here are getting destroyed. Like, this one's about dead. We know the healing's on cooldown. The Sky Striders are fine, sure. But your other Mournfang Cav's also not doing too good. Are they even trading back? Well, Demigryph Knights are all fine. Franz is fine, so no. I think this is a bit of a disaster for the Ur Kingdoms on that flank. They're winning the frontline fight for now. Ogre Bulls plus Nalblars beating up on Spearmen. They'll need to get a lot of army passive off these Spearmen and quickly, because they need a Butcher for the Sky Striders, since we know Troll Guts is on cooldown, / Winds of Magic isn't available for it. Other Crushers and the Sky Striders both going to rout. There they go. If the Empire has any resources to just chase them, then this game is over. Because that's too many very important units already fucking dead. Mournfang Cav are both healthy, though one of them received a Troll Guts, so they need to come back out of the woods and party. But again, what are you running into? You're going to run into Franz and 3 Demigryph Knights with their own spear support. Ogre Bulls and... not a Crusher, that thing's routing. So only Ogre Bulls are trying to fight back against the 2 Demigryph Knights and Franz right now, who are desperately trying to kill the Slaughtermaster before he gets another Troll Guts off. Huntsman providing the moral support. Sky Striders did manage to rally somehow, despite the Empire Knights nearby, so it looks like they're going to help out with these Spearmen, but again, I don't really know what they're going to be able to do about it. Trappers could maybe fire in onto the Demigryph blob that's forming. Maybe. Slaughtermaster's about to tear her out, though. There he goes. In comes a Mournfang charge. Kind of the last chance for the Ogres here, as the Mournfangs have to do something kind of crazy. They charge straight into the Demigryphs. Get a little bit of damage off. Other Demigryphs charging other Mournfangs, but the Mournfangs... there they go. They do get attack orders at the last second, so I was worried they get charged for free. Instead, they actually get the charge off. Franz can be able to take out the other Mournfang Cav, but has the Slaughtermaster slipped away from the Empire's notice? It looks like the Jade Wizard might still remember he exists. Yes, he does. He's going to chase down that Slaughtermaster and make sure he can't get any more spells off. This Demigryph Knight has taken a lot of damage, but the other 2 are just fine. Franz is just fine. The Ogres are not feeling as optimistic. The Sky Striders are here. Ogre Bulls are here to try and peel off the Jade Wizard. The Jade Wizard gets back into the sky and now is just going to follow the Slaughtermaster while staying in the sky to make sure he stays routing. That is a good plan. Very good plan. Mournfang Cav are both routing. Sky Striders are here. Haven't gotten a Butcher onto them just yet, so I don't know if the Ogres don't have it. Demigryph Knight's getting a little low. The Slaughtermaster did manage to rally. Does he throw a Troll Guts on the Sky Striders or himself? He's going to have to get it off. Looks like he is using it onto the Sky Striders. As he gets rear charged, that'll probably rout him yet again. Demigryph Knights and Franz. Everybody diving back onto the Slaughtermaster. He is dead as hell. And then I think the Sky Striders are just going to die momentarily too. Without their Lord, leadership will tank enough for the Ogre Bulls to all get terror-routed off, leaving the Sky Striders all alone. They will take enough damage to be pushed away, and an Overcast Earthblood onto Franz and the Demigryph Knights seals the fate of this game. Army losses hits. The Ogres are defeated. Alright, Mr. Teufel is also alerting me that I'm a dirty, filthy piece of shit, and I missed him as well, which okay, thank you. You know what? I'm taking an angry tone, but I shouldn't be, because thank you for helping me make sure we get everybody on stream at least once. That is a goal, and that is a point of this stream, so thank you for helping me. I don't know why I'm taking an angry tone, but I am, and you're just going to have to deal with it. So, fine. We have to also go get Mr. Teufel. We have to. Is that Mr. Teufel? That's Mr. Teufel. Are there any other Mr. Teufels out there that we're missing? Okay, I don't see any. So we have Jay. We have Aki. But let's do Jay. Let's do Jay, because there's a lot of Norska versus Chorfs, so we're going to divide it up. All right? But Mr. Teufel, I see you. Aki, I see you. We're getting back to it, but let's hop in here. Let's get some J. Carl not getting his dragon in the DLC is sad. Yeah. I'm not against more mounts in general. I'm not against more mounts in general, so I'm not against having it, but I'm also pretty whatever on another Dragon Lord being in the game. So if they gave it to us for free, sure. If they would I trade anything for it? No. But I'll always take free stuff. I also don't know why I put so much effort into that opinion, but here we are. Okay. Mycalium versus Jay. We have some Marauder Horse and Throwing Axes, Beasts of Tashnar in the Vanguard, Skin Wolves, the Miststalker from Mirror Warrior ROR, a bunch of Marauders in a front line, a Skin Wolf Werekin, a Marauder Chieftain on a Mammoth, and a Deathcaster with just Spirit Leech, plus some Norska Ice Trolls. On the side of the Chaos Dwarves and Jay, Blazing Beards of Basrock, 2 Infernal Ironsworn, a Chaos Dwarf Warrior, a front line of Goblin Laborers, and then the Bulls. Great Taurus, Bale Taurus, and then a Sorcerer Prophet of Fire also on a Bale Taurus. I know Umaiz was the first one I saw who did the triple bowl strat. I am not sold on it personally. I don't know if it's particularly great. It has been proven to be functional. I don't know if it's good. But I'll leave it at that, I suppose. Marauders currently getting grenaded. As they get torn into, they will rout without much of a fight. And now the triple bulls running through some more Marauders. I like how the Marauder Chieftain just opts out. He's like, nah, I don't really want to 3v1 some bulls right now. But this is largely what you should do. So the Skin Wolves are picking off some stuff in the distance. They're probably overcommitting to kill some Goblin Laborers. Having 2 Skin Wolves kill a Goblin Laborer isn't, the best use of their resources. There's a Bull Centaur Render with great weapons? Since when? It killed a Skin Wolf, apparently, but where did it spawn? Okay, whatever. I missed that entirely, and I'll take the L. I don't know why the Marauder Chieftain opted into a 3v1, but it looks like the Chaos Dwarfs also don't want it. The Beasts of Tashnar get grenaded. We do have the Miststalkers and these Skin Wolves fighting some Chaos Dwarf Warriors. The Skin Wolves have got to go around and help out the Marauder Chieftain with the Bale Tauruses. Norska Ice Trolls. One of the worst units in the game. I hate Norska Ice Trolls. I think they're hot garbage. But anyway, they're trying to kill Infernal Ironsworn, not getting too much done. They're going to get Fire Grenade in the back, which they're weak to fire. So that's going to hurt a lot. Do it. Do it! Do it! Yep, that's an ouch. And they're gone. Skin Wolf Werekin still fighting against Bull Centaur Renders and doing a pretty good job, especially when supported by Throwing Axes. And, oh no. I think Jay overcommitted. He landed in the exact units I wanted to go find him, but he found them, which doesn't mean it's going to be any worse of a situation for them. He's now surrounded in anti-large, high weapon strength, high melee attack mass, so he's going to have trouble getting out of here. And if the Miststalkers turn around, they can provide armor sundering, which will further buff the Skin Wolves, because Skin Wolves don't have great armor piercing. So the Miststalkers do need to come back here and support this fight. The Marauder Chieftain's in, however. His leadership tries to keep Skin Wolves in it. Fire Die is just too late. The Skin Wolves do terror out before the Fighter Die comes in to save them, but there is a Spirit Leech trying to whittle these guys down a little bit. Skin Wolves, as soon as they're done terror outing, need to come back. The Miststalkers are leaving this fight. Looks like they want to go fight Infernal Ironsworn, but their armor sundering and anti-infantry and armor piercing, all this stuff. It's not a bad fight for them. I just think that, Norska needs to, punish this engagement really hard. And they're doing fine. I think they could have been doing slightly better, but the Marauder Chieftain and the Maws of Savagery getting good damage down on the 3 bulls. As they start to run away now, it might be too late as the other Skin Wolves are trying to come back. The Chaos Sorcerer Prophet might get away. Yeah, he takes off as the Skin Wolves connect with him, but the Bale Taurus and the Great Taurus should both be pushed off. Shame Sorcerer of Death got in way over his head and is currently dying to Infernal Ironsworn. I think that is the end of him. I really don't think he's going to escape from this. Skin Wolf Werekin's hunting down some Bull Centaur Renders, and we are getting down to just Chaos Dwarfs piling up all of their elite infantry back to back as best they can. They're just going to try and grind it out. I think Norska has it from this point, especially if they cycle charge with their big spooky mammoth. How good are the Wood Elves? Not very. They're not unusably terrible, but they're not particularly strong. Is Khorne the worst faction now? In my opinion, Demons of Chaos are, but Khorne's down there. Nurgle rose up quite a bit. Bum, bum, bum. Good charge in from the Mammoth Rider. He's going to try and swing at some Infernal Ironsworn, if he feels like it. He didn't feel like it. Great Taurus and Bale Taurus did not die just yet. They are very low. There's no healing for them, obviously. We still do have a lot of Infernal Ironsworn and the Blazing Beards fighting it out, but the Miststalkers are back in. Fight or Die is popped, giving them nice 62 melee attack plus bonus versus infantry. That's really all they need to get through these Infernal Ironsworn. It's just that 67 melee defense you're trying to overcome. It's not as much about their armor or anything. Maws of Savagery get to fight the Sorcerer Prophet for a little bit, though they are taking a lot of damage. They're weak to fire, and there's an awful lot of fire damage dealing elite infantry around them, so it looks like Terror is going to take them out before they could get any meaningful damage on the Sorcerer Prophet of Fire. But in comes the Skinwolf Werekin, plowing through here, just like a laser beam, set its sights on the Sorcerer Prophet of Fire, pushed through all the Infernal Ironsworn, just got here and started trashing this fool. Holy shit! Skinwolf Werekin, the fucking hero. Literal hero, but also I meant like hero in a narrative sense, not just that he does take up a hero slot. Yes, that is correct. Comes in, slaps the Sorcerer Prophet of Fire to death, and the Sorcerer Prophet of Fire can't get any more healing as long as the Spirit Lich caster is dead, which it looks like he is dead. Yeah, I don't see him. So there's no... Oh, he's right there. He's not rallying just yet, but no heals for you unless the Spirit Lich comes out, so he does retreat. But the Skinwolf doesn't give a single shit, continues to fight the other two Tauruses, and more Skinwolves plow in to help the Werekin leader. Both the Great Bale Taurus and the... Wait, the Great Taurus and the Bale Taurus both rout. Infernal Ironsworn still holding for now. Blazing Beards of Bazrak also still holding for now. Marauder Horsemen throwing axes are all out of throwing axes. We do have the Maws of Savagery coming back and healing. I don't really see anything else on the battlefield. Can the Mammoth and the Skinwolf carry? Does he have his aura that provides armor and stuff? No, he doesn't. Damn, just tackles that Great Taurus and takes him down. This Skinwolf is badass. He just dove in. Like, because it died on his charge animation too, so it looks like he just like jumped at it head first and like shoulder checked it to win. All of a sudden, I think a terror route took hold or Jay just forfeited, but that was good. 2,100 for the Mammoth Lord, 1,500 for the Skinwolf caster, only 700 for the Death Spirit Leech caster. Familiar Warriors did well, Skinwolves did very well. Norska Ice Trolls sucked and will always suck, and they're bad. For Jay, his triple bulls, the Bale Taurus and the Lord did okay. The Great Taurus really struggled. Bull Centaurs with great weapons, despite dying like at the start of the game, they got a lot of good value on the way out. Infernal Ironsworn and Blazing Beards all paid for themselves, and Goblin Laborers got trash canned. Okay, so you cast that. And now... Aki. Sure, let's do it. What's happening? Okay. Okay. What do we have here? On the side of Rogue Consultant and Bretonia, we have Spearmen at Arms, Foot Squires, some Archers with fire arrows, Triple Field Trebuchet, King Muin Leon Kur, a Beast Caster with Flock of Doom, and some Knights of the Realm, one of which is the ROR, Knights of the Lionhearted. On the other side, for the High Elves, we have some Dragon Princes and Illyrian Reavers on both flanks. Mage of Life with just regrowth. Imric up on his dragon with full kit. And Spearmen and Silvern Guard across the front line. Imric's first breath attack onto some peasant archers. Does a little bit of damage, but since it was more from a frontal angle than a side angle, it doesn't do, like, unit deleting levels of damage. Knights Lionhearted trying to catch some Illyrian Reavers out in the middle of nowhere. I think they'll find themselves fighting Dragon Princes. And they're about to get flanked. Elsewhere, the High Elves are still just moving up with their spears, getting ready for a good time. Knights of the Realm trying to intercept the Dragon Princes, and they do, saving the field trebuchets in the process unless the Dragon Princes get new orders. Elsewhere, the Knights of Lionhearted catch the Illyrian Reavers right next to the edge of the map, might actually rout them off before the rear charge for the Dragon Princes connects, but it looks like they're not going to be able to. The Illyrian Reavers managed to rally just a second before, and the Knights of Lionhearted turn to face a more deadly foe in the Dragon Princes. So those Knights, hopefully for their sake, they will do well. But I do think this is the last we'll be seeing of the Knights of the Lionhearted, as the Dragon Horn is out for Imric. That is some big damage buffs, and then a heal, a regrowth onto the Dragon Princes as well. One Trebuchet is down. Dragon Princes got orders to just ignore the Knights of the Realm and dive the Trebuchets instead. They should be able to go down the line and get a lot of damage out as Imric lands onto Lewin, but Lewin pops some buffs in return to try and stay tanky throughout this, as archers lend a bit of supporting fire, and other archers are going to shoot at the Dragon Princes themselves. Frontline is going actually pretty well for Bretonia. Foot Squires haven't even gotten involved yet. It's just archers and men-at-arms holding back the Spearmen and Silver Guard and pushing them off rather easily. Shocking. That is pretty shocking. High Elves are not normally deterred that easily. Good charge in from that wounded Illyrian Reaver we saw before, fighting the Knight of the Realm next to the edge of the map. Charges in, immediately takes out a second Trebuchet. And the Knight of the Realm fighting the Dragon Prince. While the Dragon Prince got the Dragon Horn and a regrowth, they are winning that fight quite handedly, which I guess you would hope that a mid-tier ROR can't beat your High Elves' most elite cavalry receiving two different buffs. That would feel a little silly. Imric is getting slapped by Lewin and the random spearmen around, but the Dragon Princes and Reavers are rejoining the fight after taking out that Knight of the Realm that was nearby. Bretonnia is running out of knights, which is what I'm very concerned about. They are relying on Trebs, they are relying on Peasant Bowmen to do a lot of work, but with Dragon Princes running completely uncontested by other cavalry, you're not going to have that long for these archers to stay online. Illyrian Reavers diving into these guys, other Illyrian Reavers still routing off Trebs, and a Dragon Prince charge on the rear of this Trebuchet means all three of Bretonnia's artillery pieces are going to be shut down. Now, they brought 3 Trebs in case of a spear box or archer spam from the High Elves, which the High Elves really didn't bring very much of, so losing the Trebuchets isn't a big deal because the Trebuchets didn't have too much to be doing in this match, but it still sucks, right? You don't want to lose them. Lewin's fighting against Dragon Princes, completely surrounded right now. Imric is free to charge in here whenever, but for now he's just receiving a regrowth to get back to fresh vigor and more full of an HP bar. Bretonnia is spamming out Flocks of Doom at the moment to try and damage the Silver Guard and Spearmen down. I forgot they brought a Flock of Doomcaster, not a Healing Caster. Knights Lionhearted going to die once and for all against the Dragon Princes. And that leaves 2 half-health Dragon Princes able to control the entire map, and Imric should be able to neutralize Lewin. Like, if they just fight each other, they'll both kind of die, or they'll both live, but the Dragon Princes are uncontested to run around the battlefield and kill off all the archers and stuff. The Chad Flock of Doomcaster showing us why healing is the meta. Imric is in Silver Guard support this time, so the tables are turned, where Lewin used to have a bunch of filthy peasants poking at Lewin while he dueled him. Now, poking at Imric while he dueled him. Imric now has a bunch of hyper-elite High Elf spears backing him up as he duels with Lewin. If he had Lord of Dragons, Lewin would actually probably die here. He might die anyway. Another regrowth to heal up. Imric. High Elves taking a very far lead on the balance of power, as everything from the Bretonnians is routing except for this one spearman, their archer, their caster as well, but not enough. GG. Good shit, good shit. Good try from Rogue Consultant, drifting away from the meta of Brettonia, but unfortunately learning why that is the meta. Also, it seems like guessing a bit wrong what he'd be facing. Like, this build is pretty good at breaking a High Elf spear box, but Aki just ran at him. Imric did well. The spears and Silver Guard got dumpstered, which was surprising, but then the really good Cav play just brought it back. So Cav and Dragon means your infantry doesn't matter. GG. Going back for Mr. Teufel. Alright. What are we doing? There he is. Mr. Teufel versus Corvus! That's fine. I'm going to do Mr. Teufel versus Corvus, and then we do have our final between Energized and Massively Cute Panda. But I'm going to finish this one before I forget to cast Mr. Teufel. Because I won't forget to cast the finals of the tournament, but I will forget to cast Mr. Teufel. Again. What up, Trogdor? Art Splash. Art Splash, it has been entirely too long since you gave me money. What's that about? What is that about? Send me money. Immediately. Okay. Mr. Teufel on his Empire versus Corvus Glaive on the Dwarves. Swordsmen and great swords. Oof, a lot of great swords. And halberdiers. Handgunners, silver bullets, more. Ooh, Sterling's Revenge, which is the armor-piercing free company militia. Sunmaker and Spearmen. One thing I do like here, and I will briefly pitch, is halberdiers versus dwarves are very good. And some people tumble too hard on the anti-large, but they have a really good armor-piercing, even if you don't need the bonus versus large. And 42 melee defense, nothing to scoff at. Halberdiers are very good versus dwarves. I like them a lot. Great swords are also obviously very good, but I do think halberdiers are underutilized, because people just think about, oh, anti-large, okay, bad. What happened to the Grumbling Guard? What? I need to see that. I need to replay. What happened to the Grumbling Guard? Worst professor? It's true, brother. It's true. Frankly, the fact that you're surprised, that's a whole different issue. So this is the same game. While I was casting the Empire army and talking to chat, half the Dwarven army died. So we have the Grumbling Guard, 2 cannons, 2 hammerers, a ranger with great weapons, 2 thunderers, and a bunch of dwarf warriors and ironbreakers with Belgar Ironhammer. But the dwarves are clumped up way too much to be fighting the Sunmaker right now, and their cannons are shooting at great swords. Okay, so those are 2 mistakes that are really costing the dwarves in this early game. The cannons need to be taking out the Sunmaker, and the Dwarven formation needs to be much more spread out so that it can't get like 3 or 4 hits per volley. As it's hitting both cannons right now, and the Grumbling Guard, and the Rangers of Great Weapons, incidentally. Damn! Oh god, it hurts so much. And this is where we popped over, and I already saw all this damage had occurred, and I was like, alright, we need to back up. I ain't missing all this. Cannons are now focusing on the Sunmaker, but the Sunmaker's probably paid for itself already. Yeah, it has. Yes, it definitely has. As the cannons are now starting to fire at it, they will eventually win versus Sunmaker. They'll start taking out the actual models of it. But at what horrible, horrible cost. And there's now a grenade launcher in the Vanguard. Hello, sneaky friend. Who's now Vanguard grenading down some hammers. Non-armor piercing missiles is pretty whatever, but I mean, it'll still do good damage overall. I like this more, where they're moving in to help shoot at the cannons and whatnot, but there's a Thunder that's going to start counter-firing them. They probably just need to back off. Yeah, back off before you take too much damage. It's fine. You're winning this early game so hard, there's no reason to, like, desperation throw the Outriders into here and take free damage Thunders. Just back off. You're chilling. Sunmaker's down to 3 out of 4 models now that the cannons have been firing back. The Sunmaker's trying to take out the cannons. I don't know if it has the accuracy to finish them off. It probably just needs to shoot at other clumps of infantry like the Ironbreakers and get what free value it can. As the Outrider is getting a little impatient, going back in range of the Thunderers, and they are getting picked off for that. And if they route, they'll route straight off the map. They're close enough to it that I don't think they'll rally in time. The Sunmaker's still trying to win the artillery duel, which it just can't do. Like I said, like, you do the first 90% of damage really quickly, and then you can't finish them off. So they need to retarget onto the Ironbreakers. For show. Empire's still a little bit up on the balance of power. Outriders are routing. Looks like they'll rally. They're not going to go all the way off the map before they rally. And the cannons are still at 8 out of 8 strength. So it doesn't matter how low their HP is as long as they're online. They have full damage. And the Hellstorm Rock Battery is routed off. Ironbreakers kill a swordsman outright. Looks like another volley, this time onto great swords. Decent little damage, but the great swords half dodge, plus they're armored, which swordsmen aren't, so the swordsman died instantly. In comes the Empire Knights, and there's nothing in the backline that can stop them. The Grumbling Guard are too slow and too damaged already. And then there's Thunderers that are getting run down in these cannons. So these Empire Knights should be able to sweep up all of this stuff back here, and that's going to be a huge win for the Empire. The Outriders are also here to help out as well. Balthazar Gelt, Final Transmutation, Belegar, and some of the advancing forces, the advancing Dwarf Warriors and such. These Empire Knights and the Spearmen in the backline are going to have to run up. Keeping Spearmen to defend your backline from, like, Light Cav is fine, but the Dwarves don't have any Light Cavs, so now your Spearmen need to just reprioritize moving up and providing some blockers against these Dwarves as Outriders continue to harass the cannons down. Thunders are almost dead to the Empire Knights. Yeah! Take that, cannons. So the Empire's chilling. The Empire's feeling good. Ooh, Belegar brought Revenge Incarnate. What a Chad. 108, 84, and 750 for weapon strength. That's pretty good. Pretty good stats. This Hammer is trying to chase down Sterling's Revenge. Let the kiting begin, as the dwarves are helpless to stand against such things. Empire Knights and Greatswords peeling for the silver bullets and handgunners. In the backline, Empire Knights still doing great. Outriders Grenade Launchers still doing amazing, and they even start moving up and just shooting at Ironbreakers. Overshooting a bit and damaging their swordsmen more than the Ironbreakers. But you know what? I appreciate the effort. Empire Knights charging into Rangers with great weapons, shattering them. They'll need to get back into the fight elsewhere faster. Handgunners of the Empire, soon to be shut down by Dwarf Warriors, but doing their best against the Hammers in the meantime. No missile resist on those guys, just relying on 100 armor, which does not help you versus handgunners. Cannot wait for the Sunmaker ammo refill. Yeah, I'm not excited about that. I think there were a lot of healthy changes to the Empire in this upcoming DLC, but giving them restock was probably not a good one. So Halberdiers still fighting Dwarf Warriors and Ironbreakers and all this shit back here as these Dwarf Warriors continue to get kited. But I don't know what the Dwarves can do that could actually, like, win them this game. Feels like they're way too far behind. Rally out from Belegar. Gelt moving in. Do you have a plan, Gelt, or are you just here for the sake of being here? Which is fine if that's what you want to do. I'm just curious. Ironbreakers fighting Greatswords. I think they can beat up Greatswords. 67 melee defense might be too much for the Greatswords to overcome. Overcasted Plague of Rust paired with an Outrider Grenade? Yeah, that's a good combo. That's a combo. Now, if your Outriders don't shoot, that's a different problem, but you tried really hard for a good combo. There it is. That was huge. Good job, Gelt. Plague of Rust is actually still going for another volley. That's a lot of damage off an Ironbreaker, considering how tanky they are to usual missiles. Yeah, very well done here from the Empire. I liked it a lot. It was a good build, executed well. Oh, and it was Mr. Teufel. I'm paying Mr. Teufel compliments. Never mind, it was a shit Empire build played by a bad person. Mr. Teufel and me go way back. First time I met him, Barcelona, 1965. I just got done beating the Nazis in World War VII, and he offered me a drink, and then stole my kidney and shot me several times. It was bad. Oh boy. Okay. Hellstrom Rock Battery, 2,200 value. Casually. Greatswords did fine. Free Company Militia did fine. Outriders Grenade Launchers did amazing. And that's that. For Corvus, Ironbreakers did okay. Hammers, unfortunately, didn't really have anything to do. Cannons both paid for themselves, actually. I mean, if you combine them together, they paid for themselves. Thunderer did alright. Everything else got rolled. Teufel seems like a good, trustworthy guy. Yeah, he's a pretty good dude. You still didn't pay for that Donkus, by the way. Dude, you shot me and stole my kidney. I think we're square. When will the DLC launch? I think CA publicly said April 30th. I think. Okay, we've cast everybody at least once. Now that is official. Cool. We've cast everybody once. We have a finals to consider, and then we'll go back through these and cast some that that look interesting. That looks interesting. That looks really strange, but interesting. Oh, God. Chaos Dwarf blobbing versus Tzeentch. We've cast 2 of 0s today, so I'm going to pass on that one. Empire versus Dwarves we just cast. Is this different? It's Hellion versus Debes. That's a lot of DACA. Fine. 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 Okay, I kept reconsidering. World Walkers versus the Cult of Excess. Dark Elves and Norska. We've had a lot of both today. Oh, but he's taking my build. This must be Cetra. Alright, he's taking my build. We gotta cast it. And then more Norska. Versus Drazov. Versus Drazov? Versus Drazov. There's so much Norska! Fuck it, we'll cast them all. We'll cast them all, but we're starting with finals. So if you're here just for the tournament, these 2 players went 4-0 in the Swiss stage. They never lost. And then they had to fight each other in the finals, best of 1, to determine who wins it. This is that final game. We have Energized versus, his name is Camel Rider on Discord, so I'm going to call him that. Energized on his Lizardmen with Tic-Tac-Toe and a Heavens Caster. Dark Elves, stinky, stinky Dark Elves with Malice Darkblade. Energized is an older player. I don't know his age in real life, but I meant he was on Turin's stream back before I started casting. So, it's been a while. Alright, Trogdar sent me $10. Thank you for running all these new player tourneys. Can't play for a while since I have one arm stuck in a sling, but I wanted to show my appreciation. Your appreciation is welcome. I already miss you. And what did you do to your arm? Unless it's a secret. If it's a secret, don't tell me. But, what'd you do to your arm? Oh, no. No. Cyrus, I know what... Sorry. Someone's messaging me on Discord. So, no. Tomorrow, I'm streaming a tournament with some other people who have early access. But that doesn't mean the DLC is coming out tomorrow. We're just streaming some more... Competitive isn't the right word, because I'm sure people won't be playing, like, 100% sweaty. But, like, more serious games than, like... Tactical Ish and I trying to make good content, or Dov Plays and I trying to make good content. This will be like, okay, well, people actually trying to win and not just like meme for the sake of memeing. What are they going to take? Anyway, for the finals game here, this is it. Grand finals. Energize brought some Chameleon Skinks and Ripperdactyl Riders plus Tic-Tac-Toe. We have a mixed Saurus and Skink frontline, some Croxagores, and a Heavens Caster with Thunderbolt and Harmonic Convergent versus the Dark Elves of Camel Rider. Cold One Knights, Malice Darkblade, Dread Spears across the front line. So 4 Cold One Knights, the Siren Red Rune, Bloodwrack Medusa, and then a Flaming Sword of Rune and Cascading Fire Cloak Caster. You dislocated your shoulder. That sounds painful. I hope you're doing okay. The Saurus should be able to win the frontline fight against the Dread Spears. Combined with Skinks and Croxagores, they'll be fine. So it is on the Dark Elves to use their superior single entities and their superior cavalry to win the fight. And unfortunately, Camel Rider did just throw his cavalry straight into the front line where Cold One Riders and Skinks are weighing him down. So a bit of a whoopsie there on the start for the Dark Elves. They need to take more of the flanks and get rear charges rather than just like taking a stat check with infantry. Because as we talked about earlier with the Norska versus Chaos Dwarfs games, one of the 8 we have today apparently, you're paying for the speed and you're paying for the mass, so you have to use it. Like, infantry have better stats than cavalry. They will beat you in almost any 1v1 fight, but you have the agency to pick a good fight, is kind of the trade-off there. So, Cold Knights are going to have to get crafty. Looks like they're chasing off Ripperdactyl Riders away from the Bloodwrack Medusa as Skinks continue to follow after them. Cold Riders are also doing pretty well. Chameleon Skinks are continuing to poke in. In comes a Thunderbolt to damage the Dread Spears. Big damage on that clump as Malice still tries to help out a bit. And we don't have Burning Head, so clearing out these Skinks and Saurus will actually be quite difficult for the Dark Elves as the Dread Spears are all pushed away. Crows of Cain. Whoa, Slendish's Harvesters! Where were you? Must have been in the Vanguard with the Crows of Cain. Okay, ambush in. Slendish's Harvesters with their Soul Stealer and their Word of Pain bound spells are trying to run through the backline and shut down Energized Skinks. It looks like they will be able to, so that's a really big play for the Dark Elves. I am liking it. The Cold One Knights have gotten away from that frontline fight that was going so poorly for them, so they can clean up some skinks in the back here. They do have a Saurus chasing after them, but with appropriate cycle charging, they should win that anyway. Slaanesha's Harvesters trying to finish off the Chameleon Skinks, having some trouble doing it as more Skinks and then Coldwind Riders will be available to come back here and help out soon. And unfortunately, Camel Rider dove his Sorceress of Fire too far in without Burning Head to be able to clear out Chaff, so she got stuck in the Chaff and has now died to Croxodors. Malice is still trying to fight. The Siren Red Ruin is in here. She has not used any of her Whales of Malice yet, which she might want to just do that, considering the blob that she was dealing with. Slaanesha's Harvesters still taking a lot of damage. They need to use their Bound Soul Stealer and their Bound Words of Pain just to save themselves a little bit of damage, because you can reduce these skinks down to legitimately 0 melee attack. Same with these Coldwind Riders. So these guys need to use their Bound spells, otherwise they are not worth their cost. They are paying heavily for those Bound spells. Tic-Tac-Toe, haven't talked about him a lot. Honestly don't know what he's been up to, but him and his Ripperdactyls are now taking a fight against Coldwind Knights as other Coldwind Knights stream in, but with Skink support and Tic-Tac-Toe here, I think that the Lizardmen will come out on top in this battle. Coldwind Riders taking a lot of damage as they're poisoned and chased down by Slaanesha's Harvesters, so the longer they don't engage in this fight, the more damage they're going to take, but they are just trying to lead these guys away. I think they realize they're doomed and they're just like stalling it out as much as possible. Crows of Cain and the Coldwind Knights are coming nearby. Maybe they can rout off all these skinks too, and Bounce Power is pretty even. Fitting game for the finals as Malice and the Siren Red Ruin take out the Croxcores, take out some skinks, and some Saurus are also not feeling too good, all things considered. Tic-Tac-Toe and the boys killing off the Coldwind Knights, who did get a Flaming Sword of Ruin and a Cascading Fire Cloak. That means the Dark Elf caster is back? How is she back? Oh, the Lizardmen thought she would keep routing. Now Tic-Tac-Toe is gunning for her. He won't make the same mistake again as he is going to end her life. 69 HP, nice. That is a perfect amount for a Dark Elf or a Slaaneshi cultist. But Tic-Tac-Toe thinks it's not enough. He's been betrayed once before. He will not be betrayed again. She officially shatters. The Cold Knights also routes. That's a big win for Lizardmen on that side. On this backfield, though, the Dark Elves are having a field day. Cleaning up Chameleon Skinks, killed off the Coldwind Riders, killing off all this stuff, running off Croxcores. It's feeling good. Slaanesha's Harvesters still sitting on a Soul Stealer, still sitting on their Words of Pain, so I must say that is a mistake. They really need to be using those. But overall, pretty good play in the backfield. Chameleon Skinks from Energized are going to kill off the Crows of Cain, it looks like. But Siren Red Ruin's fighting as best she can. She also has Whales of Malice to be using. Probably now. This is the best Whale of Malice you're going to get. As the Croxcores pile in, everything's around here, you're going to have to use it. It might still be on cooldown, but... In comes Slaanesha's Harvesters. They need to use their Bound Soul Stealer, too. There it is. Bound Soul Stealer out. Where's the Whale of Malice? You can do so much AoE damage right now. Harmonic Convergence buffing up the Toad's Rage of these guys, but where's the Whale of Malice? Pile it on top. There's the Whale of Malice. At least she got it off before routing. So doing good damage to everybody around her as Malice continues to help out. And I really like the Dark Elf's position right now because Malice still has a full Tzarkan to turn into. Tic-Tac-Toe and the boys running off, taking a lot of damage as Coldwind Knights opt back in. This is looking a little brutal. And Energized not abusing the healing of the Lizardmen means his HP is that HP is going to get. Demon's Curse plus Word of Pain, lowering these Croxcore stats down to fucking nothing. 0 and 9 for their melee stats. As Malice continues to fight it out, Siren Red Ruin providing that nice terror. The Dark Elves have lost like everything else besides Malice, but I worry Malice is all you need. Like, look how low everything is. And then he's going to transform into Tzarkan, use his, like, Bloodstorm and, what's the other one? Reaper of Souls, and damage all these guys. Tic-Tac-Toe's taking big damage. Can the Lizardmen even win at this point? I am concerned. Bounce power is 50-50 when it's literally Malice versus everything else. Everybody else is gone. Leaving just poor Mally. Harmonic Convergence on with Croxcores, 60 and 57 for melee stats. That is much better for them. And the Skinks, buffed up by Croxcores being nearby, they do have Cause Fear now, so they're not getting their leadership reduced, making them a bit tankier. Coldwind Knights, the last of the Coldwind Knights, trying to convince the Siren Red Ruin to rally. Looks like it's not going to happen. He's popped his blood price, gets stronger weapon strength and damage resistance. Tic-Tac-Toe and the Ripperdactyl is going to chase off the Coldwind Knights. There they go. And now it is just watching Malice. Times 2 speed. He's at his heal cap. The only thing he really has to do is play the risky game of how long do you let Malice stay mortal versus the balance of power. Because if it starts to army loss and you aren't transforming already, you will be too late. You can't click it after army losses starts. It won't proc in time. But Malice, I mean, like, he's doing pretty good. He's killing some stuff. He's doing all right. Getting kited by chameleons. Da, 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 da. Nice recharge. Takes out the chameleon with more ammunition. He's going to transform soon, though. Like I said, the bounce power is turning against him, and he can't afford to let army losses start. He's got to transform right now. Right now, right now, right now, right now, right now. There it is. Army losses is not started, so we do get Tzarkan out. Nice. That would have been an anticlimactic way to end this, as a Reaper of Souls and a Bloodstorm just deletes the Ripperdactyls and the Skinks. Decent damage onto Tic-Tac-Toe. He has Harmonic Convergence and Master of the Skies. 124 melee defense. He did not want to get hit by Malice there, as he opts out. Can the Lizardmen stall out this game as Malice slowly kills himself? But slowly is the key word. It's a very, very slow bleed out on Ultra unit size. Back to times 2 speed, as he is just going to run around the map and slowly kill things. Dun, 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 dun. Dives in, do some Saurus, and they get Harmonic Convergence. Oh my god, and Tic-Tac-Toe dives in, doing a ton of damage. Now, Malice is still slowly healing. His Warp Sword still heals him, even in his Tzarkan form. So he's getting a little bit of healing passively. And then he gets healing whenever he pops that Reaper of Souls and gets the big Soul Stealer type thing going on. He's going to run down some more Skinks. And all the Lizardmen left are in front of you. There's no one beneath me. I'm not missing anybody. They're all here on screen. Tzarkan charges back into Saurus Warriors. There's a big Reaper of Souls. It hits 3 units. Healing up Malice, doing good damage to these Saurus. And the last Chameleon Skink with ammo still has 10 shots left, but very, very low leadership. Low health and leadership. Armada Convergence onto Tic-Tac-Toe. No Master of the Skies this time. Still 84-84 for melee stats. He's fighting Malice. It was 82-50. His healing cap has appeared. Malice is taking a lot of damage. Master of Skies has popped 124 melee defense. So hard to hit Tic-Tac-Toe, even with your impressive 82 melee attack, Mr. Tzarkan, man. He is not able to get any damage on Tic-Tac-Toe, and Tic-Tac-Toe is not missing. With 86 charge bonus, he has a very, very high effective weapon strike. There is a Bloodstorm. Does he have another Reaper of Souls to get a big heal that he needs? He gets a huge shot onto Tic-Tac-Toe as Tic-Tac-Toe starts to leave. And the Lizardmen are holding for now. Malice is desperately trying to heal up while still fighting these Skinks. I know he has a Reaper of Souls up soon. I hope he doesn't pop it too soon. Because he's currently, like, maybe if he gets both Saurus, then a Reaper of Souls is worth it. Otherwise, you want to, like, save it for Tic-Tac-Toe or these healthier Chameleon Skinks. But one Saurus is not worth the Reaper of Souls if he can choose to... If you can choose when to spend it. If you have to spend it, then you have to spend it. Shit happens. He's taking a lot of damage. Army losses is really close. And I think the Lizardmen are favored. Tic-Tac-Toe monstered on Malice. But he's lining up for a better Reaper of Souls. You can see he's trying to get between, like, all the units. There it is. That's like the best one you're going to get, and you need to heal desperately. He hasn't popped it yet. Weird. I guess it must have still been on cooldown. No, there it is, but a little too late, a little too greedy. Tic-Tac-Toe lands the last hit and does take him down. Huh. What's the current situation of Spite? Recall people saying it's a bad mount. Oh, Spite's good. I mean, like, it's better than Malice on foot, because you have some agency. For Energized, good use of Tic-Tac-Toe, good use of the Ripperdactyl Riders, Chameleon Skinks, really good value overall. And then Saurus Warriors, wow, Saurus Warrior value, look at that. Look at that. And the Croc scores also did very well. Good use of these units that don't often get played and also don't often get a lot of value, but the Chameleon Skinks did great, Croc scores did great, Saurus Warriors did great. Jesus! For Camel Rider, Side Road Ruin, Malice, and the Doomfire Warlocks ROR did very, very well. Golden Knights did okay, and then the Dread Spears just got massacred. Firecaster also didn't get much done. I think they really needed Burning Head. It's hard to not take Burning Head, honestly. That's such a good spell. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So GG's. Stream's not over, so don't Don't go anywhere just because you think it's done. It's not done. We'll stream some other fun ones here. I'm just giving Energized his Bone Ripper roll and congratulating him on winning. So Energized, with his glorious return to multiplayer, does win the new player tournament. Let's go. With a very Warhammer 2 style Lizardmen build. So let's check out some of these other replays, huh? We have Dark Elves Norska, Chaos Dwarves, Dwarves Empire, Ogres High Elves, and then High Elves Tomb Kings. I feel like I'm doing a Sudoku puzzle of how to not get the same factions back to back. So let's do this one. McCallum versus Titus. The only reason I'm not skipping this one, because we have had a lot of Dwarfs and a lot of Norska, is because it's fucking Drazoth. Hi, the Forgotten. Drazoth is my favorite Chaos Dwarf Lord in appearance. I still think he's not very good, but he's cool. For Norska, Beasts of Tashnar, the Mist Stalkers, Skinwolves and the Skinwolf Werekin on the flanks. I think the Maws of Savagery are in here too. There they are. Front line of Marauders, a Marauder Chieftain, Spirit Leech Caster, Norscan Ice Trolls, and Mist Stalkers. On the other side for the Chaos Dwarves, Hobgoblin Wolf Raiders on both flanks, Bull Centers Great Weapons on both flanks, Drazoth the Ashen on foot with Burning Wrath and Flames of Asgore. And then we have some Chaos Dwarf Warriors with Great Weapons, Blunderbusses, and Hobgoblin Cutthroats. All right, Burning Wrath is through, poking some of the Marauders, not doing a lot of damage, because I think that spell is pretty bad. But on the far side, we do have a key engagement. Look at the Skinwolves bodying these Wolf Raiders. The Beasts of Tashnar have to get activated, but I think Bull Centaur Renders opting into a 2v1 is probably going to go poorly for them, but the Skinwolves do have to turn and fight. They're currently half chasing the Hobgoblin Wolf Raiders and half taking shots in the back, so they do need to turn around and really commit to that Bull Centaur Render. On the other side, the Skinwolf Werekin and his Skinwolf pals are teaming up on this Bull Centaur Render, so it is a bit of a tough start here for the Chaos Dwarves, losing a lot of value quite early. Oh, God! Okay, I wasn't looking at that. In the center fight, the Blunderbusses are making the Marauder Chieftain regret being alive as he gets shredded. With Scroll of Shielding up, he has lost 10,000 HP in the first minute and a half of this game as the Blunderbusses are still trying to light him up. They're firing at that weird side angle, though, which is stopping them from getting a real head-on shot, but he's still losing health slowly, and the Shaman of Death is trying to stop the bleeding just a little bit. Norscan Ice Trolls plus the Premier Warriors trying to get through the Chaos Dwarves and the Hobgoblins and stuff to try and maybe save their Lord, who's down to 0 leadership as he gets hit on all sides. The Blunderbusses are shut down by the Deathcaster for now as Drazoth chases him down. The Beast of Tashnar come rolling downhill to try and kill these Blunderbusses as well. But Norska is through the front line. The Marauders are going to start harassing the Blunderbusses. Can these Chaos Dwarves with Great Weapons get between these Blunderbusses and danger and then have the Blunderbusses just shoot the Marauder Chieftain on the way out? It doesn't look like that is the plan. Norska has won this southern flank. On the northern flank, they're also winning. In the center, they're doing just fine. Really, the only thing the Chaos Dwarves have going for them is how massively they sniped out the Marauder Chieftain, but they weren't able to finish the job, but now Norska is kind of taking hold of this game. Drazoth is currently killing the Deathcaster with gusto. Samaric got him. I was gotten, and I did not appreciate it. But I think Norska's even more ahead than the balance of power indicates. They've killed everything except for some random Hobgoblins and some Chaos Dwarf Warriors. There's not even like Ironsworn that you can back up and say that, oh, they're going to carry this game. Okay, damn it, I just said that, now there's an Infernal Guard with Great Weapons. I didn't even notice you were here. I didn't even know you were in the game. Their stats are pretty whatever, so I really don't think they're going to carry, but maybe I'm wrong. Okay, that's a Chaos Dwarf Warrior. There's only one Infernal Guard with Great Weapons. If there was multiple, I'd be a little more worried. Beast of Tashnar still running through these guys. Going to rear charge the Infernal Guard, who do have their armor sundered right now. Down to 70 armor because of the Mist Stalkers. As a Burning Wrath hits the Marauder Horseman, it does, like, no damage. The Mist Stalkers are going to be the biggest problem here for Chaos Dwarves. Marauder Chieftain helping to chase off some Goblin Laborers. Looks like he just doesn't want to die. I don't think there's anything around here that can really do much damage to him, unless he just AFKs in the middle of these Infernal Guard, but I appreciate the caution. Don't want him to die. Mist Stalkers trying to help out, chasing some things. I worry that without their armor sundering, the Infernal Guard are actually going to do super well. Now... Oh, they're still sundered. Are there still Miststalkers in here? Yeah, there's a couple Miststalkers in here, so they're spread out over the battlefield. Alright, that's cool. Skimware continues to fight it out. Without a Deathcaster for those guaranteed Spirit Leeches, Drazoth is going to be a bit of a problem, and this last Infernal Guard is hanging on for quite a while. We will end up needing our Marauder Chieftain to come back. Maws of Savagery and the other Skinwolves will need a bit of time to regen up. Ice Trolls could opt back in this fight, though. They're like full HP and regenerating up, so they can get a good downhill charge to help out over here. Throwing X is doing a little bit more damage. They just gotta get rid of those Infernal Guard, then they have this game in the bag. In comes a big charge. Infernal Guard down to 8 leadership. Drazoth's trying to cast another Burning Wrath. What was that? Oh, there's a Blunderbuss back. Hello. Terror out onto the Infernal Guard. That should seal their fate, because now they're not fighting back. They should get the quote-unquote losing melee combat and get a leadership debuff there, as Norska and Ice Trolls are going to opt out and instead kill these little shotgunners. One final valiant volley. And the Infernal Guard did manage to rally. They're down at 7 leadership. Norska's still up. Hobgoblin Cutthroats trying to rejoin the fight, swinging their little swords around. Norska continues to pile more monsters on. The Mammoth Lord's vibing in the distance. With 3,000 HP, he can still get involved. There are the Terror Outs. What causes terror here? Is it the Miststalkers? Ooh, the Miststalkers' terror is actually pretty clutch, apparently. As it Terror Outs off everything, leaving just Drazoth fighting. Chaos Dwarf Warriors terror routing. We'll see if they naturally route with the Infernal Guard of naturally routed Hobgoblin Wolf. I always say Wolf Riders, that's the only Hobgoblin unit I'm used to. Hobgoblin Cutthroat's also routing. Now it's just Drazoth casting something. Was it a Burning Wrath? I really want a Flames of Asgore right now, just because. He gave up. Sag. Mammoth from Norska didn't get much done, but their monstrous infantry had a field day against this roster. For Titus, Drazoth unfortunately just sucked and died as he normally does, but God, he's so cool. Blunderbusses and Infernal Guard did pretty well. Bull Centaur Renders did pretty well, but they were unsupported. The Hobgoblin Wolf Raiders just got killed immediately, so then, you know, they were all alone. GG. Okay. So that was Norska and Chaos Dwarves, so let's pivot to neither of those factions. We'll do High Elves and Ogres. Yashkov and Gyama. Oh boy. That is a small... There's 2 small armies. Yashkov going for the Tyrant and the Flame guy. Firebelly. I'm not a Tyrant Firebelly believer. I really want just a Firebelly Lord so I don't have to waste my money on a fucking Tyrant. Alright, for the Ogres, since they're a little smaller, we have a Stonehorn Hero, 2 Noblar Scrap Launchers, Firebelly with Fireball, Burning Head, and a bunch of stuff. Fire Breath and the Tenderizer. Then we have a Tyrant with his Thunder Mace, Foe Seeker, and Snacks. So he's trying to get the High Elves to just stay in their little box and then get breath attacks and charges off for free and stuff. Then we have some Iron Guts, some Ogre Bulls, the Iron Fists, and that's about it. But the Noblar Scrap Launchers have Bolt Throwers to deal with. For the High Elves, there are 2 Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers, an Arcane Phoenix, Techless on a horse with Net Flock of Doom. And then we have Spearmen and Silver and Guard. We have Illyrian Reavers and War Lions. We do have 1 Phoenix Guard, but the Bolt Throwers are going to have the best day of their entire lives killing these Scrap Launchers uncontested. So the Ogres in a really bad situation. Are there more bad lores? I think the Goblin lore of Wa is fucking bad. I think the Skaven lore of Stealth is pretty fucking bad. Curving Burning Head goes straight through the Spearman. Nice job. Nice job there. Aside from that, I don't know if there's entire bad lores. There's some less than optimal lores. Heavens is usually pretty bad. Usually. It's not as bad as the other ones we've been talking about, but Heavens is usually not very good. Boom. Good hit on the Phoenix Guard. Anyway, Bolt Thrower's about to take out their second scrap launcher. How much value have you gotten? Yeah, they've already almost paid for themselves, and it's a minute and a half into the game. Arcane Phoenix gets a beautiful tornado onto some Iron Guts who don't care at all because they're not infantry. And we have ourselves a weird ranged duel game where neither side seems particularly in a rush to get into melee, and they're just happy to shoot at each other. Phoenix Guard and this Spearman taking a lot of poke from Burning Head plus the scrap launchers. But I do think the High Elves are coming out on top. That being said, another freaking giant Burning Head goes through these Spearmen. The Bolt Throwers now turn their ire onto the Hunter, who has been spotted. Iron Guts get a bit of a fight, but Techless and a rear charge from the Iron Reavers, it'll do a little bit, but these are Iron Guts. We're talking about 100 armor and 38 melee defense. They're not going to just, like, die to Iron Reavers like that. War Lions and some Silver Guard thinking about getting involved as the Tyrant walks around the side. Now someone's going to have to stop him. Looks like he gets netted by Techless, but what's the follow-up? Because you can't just let him walk up to these Bolt Throwers for free. These Bolt Throwers continue to harass the Hunter. The Scrap Launchers are out of the fight, and if they ever decide to come back, the Bolt Throwers will get them. Ah, that's what you were planning. The Arcane Phoenix is going to go duel the Tyrant for a little bit. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Techless doesn't really want any of that. I think the High Elves do need to be rotating some more of their forces, and now they're starting to, but they don't need to leave all these spears up here. Like, one Silver Guard for that Ogre Bull is fine. Honestly, maybe just take these Iron Reavers and War Lions and chuck them into the Ogre Bull to kill it off, and then just secure one flank entirely, but leaving one Silver Guard can also do fine. I just worry if the Ogre Bulls backed off and walked around the Silver Guard, you maybe couldn't stop them. Tyrant is dueling about even with the Arcane Phoenix, though the Arcane Phoenix has a little bit more healing. Scrap Launcher is back and firing. Bolt Throwers busy shooting at the Hunter a little bit more, so they're fine with that one Scrap Launcher getting a couple shots off. It looks like War Lions are going to join the Arcane Phoenix in the fight against the Tyrant. And he is now surrounded by all of the monsters of the jungle. In the jungle, the mighty jungle, War Lions and Arcane Phoenixes beat up Ogres. In the jungle, the mighty jungle. This is a very different Lion King movie we're talking about. It's the Lion King sequel. All this crazy fantasy shit. Tyrant does get soloed out eventually. Techless rear charging was enough to finally break him, and now the Tyrant is running away. Firebelly and some of our Ogre Bulls and Iron Fists are still doing okay. Iron Guts too. But the Silver Guard on the high ground took out those Ogre Bulls. Our Eagle-Claw Bolt Throwers are still firing. The Scrap Launchers are both back. They are both shooting at stuff, but they're somehow obstructed from across the map because their own Ogres are in the way, I guess, but they're not just going to launch it anyway. That feels a little counterintuitive. Oh, Scrap Launchers. Some people like you. Finally, the Hunter is going to rout, as these Eagle Bolt Throwers are trying to carry the game. 1,500 value on one, 1,700 on the other. Army losses is taking hold of the Ogre Kingdoms any second now. There it is. That is GG to the High Elf Bolt Throwers. Well played by Guillama. Good win. Just kind of held his spear line together and then let the Bolt Throwers do their work. It was very hard for Yashkov to kite because, like, if he had Lather and Seaguard to deal with, he could kite, but being outranged, his Scrap Launchers were outranged by the Bolt Throwers, it just forced him to, like, kind of charge, which he wasn't really built for. Alright, so we cast that, and now we go away from the other High Elf game and into Dark Elves Norska. But I'm emotionally invested in this because Kilo has taken my build. So it has to do well. Can Yashkov beat the Norska build of legend? Possibly. Hello.
Hey, I'm sorry. I know you're streaming.
I am streaming. What's up?
Do you have a second?
If it's literally a second, yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm feeling like really anxious. Like I need to drive home and I don't know, I feel weird.
Okay.
I just like, am I on speakerphone?
No.
I just like when I was driving I was going to Norska and I like it was like that experience where it feels like you're almost like dying again, and I was like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
And then I think my blood sugar was low, and so then like I was at Norska and I was like, I just don't feel like I feel out of my body, like it's weird. And then I just went to Whole Foods and like just got something to eat and ate it, but now it's like I'm gonna drive home and I'm just like worried that I don't know, like, I'm not safe to drive home.
Do you need me to come pick you up?
No, I don't know. I might just sit in my car for a little bit and eat like another like cheese stick to try to get my blood sugar back up. But like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just needed to tell someone.
All right.
Just, like, right now.
All right. Well, if you need me to come get you, I'm kind of at the just bullshitting around and hanging out part of the stream. The actual tournament's done, so if this is important, I can just shut it down and come get you. It's not a big deal. So, you tell me what you need. If you are just, I mean, if you're fine vibing, then I can finish this game and then shut it down, and then we can deal with it. Or if you know what decision you want to make right now, we can just do that. But it's a very, I was just saying it's a very low pressure situation. It's not like decide now or I'm not coming to get you.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just gonna like pull my car from a less busy spot and just like run chill for a minute and like I said, like eat like another cheese stick. Just see if maybe getting completely helps with that.
All right.
Okay. All right.
Bye. Okay. This is going to be the last replay. Grace is having some issues while out and about on the town, so I might have to go help her out with that. But for now, she's just going to park on the side of the road and get her stuff together. And real life stuff always comes before streaming, so this will be the last replay of the day. As I'm sure you understand, and if you don't understand, then you're not a person whose opinion I care about. All right. So let's do this. But for now, she's not sure what she wants to do, so while she thinks about it, I can at least cast this game. Supreme Sorcerers of Dark, Raven's Heralds, ROR, Repeater Cross. Oh, the friendly fire? The friendly fire from the Bolt Throwers, just rolling those guys. Then we have some Dark Shards, some Coldwind Knights, Blackguard Corsairs, and Dread Spears. For the Norska build, it is a generic build that I like versus most factions, and then you kind of make alterations as you need to. We have Wolfric the Wanderer with Hunter Champions and Seafang, a front line of Marauders and Marauder Berserkers, some Skin Wolves, Norskan Ice Wolves, 4 Jav Throwers in the back, and then the Beast of Tashnar and other Ice Wolves over there. Raven's Herald's doing a bit of kiting. Now, these Javelins are going to have to keep the Raven's Heralds honest. Because they're the only ones that can reach up into the sky and hit them. And they can do a lot of damage if they get in range, and obviously their range is shorter and they're slower, so the Raven's Heralds can stay away. But as long as you're keeping them honest is the main point. You just don't want to let them sit and do whatever they want. Meanwhile, the Bolt Throwers are really picking off Wolfric the Wanderer, and he's going to need to find somewhere to hide. Norskan Ice Wolves and Beast of Tashnar getting up on the flank, and this Dark Elf build only has 1 cav piece. So if the Norskan flanking forces can get into position, they can terrorize this backline. Kill off all the Bolt Throwers and all the Dark Shards and stuff. So they're going to have to get through that as the Berserkers and Marauders continue up, Burning Head casters around, but Wolfric is getting successfully sniped, and it looks like today is the day of the Bolt Throwers. High Elves and Dark Elves bringing in a lot of Bolt Throwers, and they're all doing pretty darn well. First Burning Head is out. It goes vertical, but that might not be the worst thing in the world, as it kind of tickles. It didn't do as much damage to that Dark Shard as I was hoping, but it did fine versus other stuff. And now all the Marauder Hunter Javelins are clumped up. Wolfric is officially dead, and there goes a Breath Attack onto 4 of them clumped up. That is going to be a mistake that is punished heavily. And with Wolfric dead, taking that much damage, and their nearby allies routing it, looks like 3 of those Javelins are going to be out of here. Norska really has to come back on the strength of their flanking force, as Coldwind Knights rally to try and stop the Dogs coming in. But Dogs and Skin Wolves without a Lord on the battlefield are just such cowardly combatants that they're starting to rout at like half HP or even higher. They're thinking about getting out of here while fighting against Black Ark Corsairs and Dark Shards. Raven's Heralds are hitting them in the back right now, and a Soul Stealer did take out all those Javelins. Again, the Dark Elves realize that those Javelins are the only things that can stop the Raven's Heralds or even do good damage to Supreme Sorcerers of Darks. They're just trying to take them out. Wolfric was probably needing to dodge, where you just take you hit shift and then you can give them prolonged orders. If you just draw a little circle on the ground, Wolfric will run around in circles for a while. That'll save him from a lot of the Reaper Bolt Thrower shots. That's probably what you had to do here. If the Norskan player is still in the chat. Skinwolves are beating up on the Coldam Knights, and the Beast of Tashnar did hang in there for now, and the Dark Elves are getting a little pushback. Like, it's getting slightly concerning, but I still think with a Dragon Lord with the full health Raven's Herald who's still half ammunition and none of the Javelins are throwing at them, that is going to be a bit of a problem. I think the Dark Elves have probably got it. I think if Norska had played this exact same way, like everything the exact same except the Javelins didn't all clump up for that breath attack and Wolfric can dodge some of the shots, I think they probably could have won. Just because the Dark Elves are at a breaking point right now, and I know they're winning, but like it's because they got far enough ahead that now Norska doesn't have the tools. But look around, like, we have unprotected Dark Shards, 3 unprotected Bolt Throwers, an unprotected Black Ark Corsair Handbow, and another unprotected Dark Shard. Like, all their melee infantry is about dead. So if Norska had, like, 20% more HP at this point in the game, they could walk through the back line, kill all these ranged units, and get back in the game. But they're routing too quickly. They've taken too much damage, so they're just not going to have the oomph there. But I don't think it was like, oh, Norska played this entirely wrong and they couldn't possibly win it. It's like just a couple little optimization things would have helped out. Skinwolves diving back into Dark Shards to take them down. And then we have the Marauder Hunter Javelins all circling out to try and hit the Sorceress of Dark. She's not that highly armored, unshielded, doesn't have that much missile resist, but one of the Marauder Hunters shatters, another one's just going to rout, and this one didn't get a full shot off. The Skinwolves are probably going to tear out as soon as they make contact, unless they were tear routed recently and are immune to it, but I wasn't watching them, so I'm suspecting they'll just tear out. There they go. That might be army losses for our Norskan friends. Not to be crass, well, not crass, not to be rude or rash, but Norska doesn't have a chance here, so I'm just going to fast forward because it is just one more personal route, and then all of a sudden army losses is going to hit, and there's nothing they can really do about it. Ooh. 2 more people have to route before army losses. 3. Frankly, I'm shocked army losses is still holding off this long. A valiant last attempt by Skinwolves and Dogs, but they are pushed off. Alright, what did we decide on? Okay. Grace hasn't messaged me with what she wants to do. Let's look over the values. Bolt Throwers did pretty well. Black Corsairs did fine. Dark Shards did fine, yeah. For Killua and whoever cares. Nice job, Yashkov. Nice job. For Killua and whoever cares. Skirmish versus AI. Fuck it. I just need someone who's remotely fast. I don't know what's going on in chat anymore. I've lost the thread of what's happening. Tiny sliver on top of the Czech Republic. Looks like Hummus's Norska build's hot poo-poo. Oh, it's true. It's true. It's the build's fault. No mistakes were made ever. It's all the build. I'm trash. Alright. So all I was trying to show you is if you hold shift and then right click, you can give your units commands. But if you do like a little circle like that, you can just get your lord to start running around in circles and he'll dodge a lot of artillery fire. Not all of it, but a lot of it. Especially, and why I say a circle is like, one, you need to keep changing directions constantly to confuse artillery. But also, you probably have your Lord standing where he's standing for a reason, like, close enough to the front line that he can support, but not so close that he's, like, getting hurt or something. So that's why you don't want to do just, like, a straight line, because then that doesn't help you. The artillery is going to correctly anticipate where he's going and shoot. And also, another thing you might be worried about is the AI doesn't cheat. And, like, if you're doing a circle, the AI knows you gave a circle, and they start to predict it. The enemy AI doesn't do that. They almost always fire based on the direction you're currently heading when they fire. So the twisting around helps a lot. Like, again, you might get hit with a stray cannonball, but it is way better than standing still. So, just a little thing. It can help you out. Thanks to the attorney. Referral code when? Yeah, that's a good question. CA approved me for a referral code, and it appears they're having problems getting their referral codes out because of the new way they did the DLC, with you being able to order the 3 different DLCs, like, separately, kind of, sort of. So, I don't think you can even pre-order the DLC right now if you want to. And that's part of the reason they're having issues getting referral codes out. I know some people already have them, so that explanation doesn't really make complete sense to me. But, I don't know. They said, yeah, it still says coming soon. They said by Monday, if I don't have a code, then I should message them, and they would quote-unquote push it through. But there will be a referral code. Sorry, we haven't gotten out by then, but it seems more like a CA problem with new technology rather than like we're not going to get one. Alright. I gotta go figure this Gray situation out, so sorry to Archangel and Rogue Consultant, and sorry to Hellion and DeBest that I will not get to these games, though. We did cast one of everybody's games at least, so it's not a huge loss, but still apologize for that. Will you post the code on your Discord? Yes. Yes. Yes, I'll post it in the announcements when we get it. Okay. I gotta get going. If you need more content, tomorrow we will be hosting a tournament on the Thrones of Decay DLC for some of the other early access people, so that'll be fun. Check that out. Okay. Oh, fuck. I gotta do my job and send you people places. Okay. Total Warhammer 3. Who's streaming Warhammer 3 right now? Mercy the Mad is streaming some early access. Ledman Pledge is streaming some early access. Wait, how did Lemon Pledge get early access? What? Whatever. I don't know how he got early access, but sure, I'll raid that guy. He seemed fine. Last time I talked to him, he was nice. Okay, goodbye. See you tomorrow. If you feel like being here tomorrow, goodbye forever.